Facebook Live. I've never heard of this shit.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker. Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
God, what a day. Woo. What's going on, guys? How you doing today, Spanx?
I'm learning how to work my mute button.
And what's going on with you, Owl? Hello. All right.
He too might be learning how to work his mute button.
Yeah, exactly. You might be able to try to mess with it. All right, so you guys are like saying there's some musical problems or some shit. Let's see. Let me see. No, not hearing music. Hang on. Yeah, I'm good. I can hear it. Can you hear it? You hearing me? Everybody hearing me? Everyone's good to go? Anyways, so what's going on? Broadcasting live from the function. Let's see, let's get back on. Let's get back on the scene. Let's get back on the scene.
Okay, yeah, now it's back up.
Is it back up?
It's back up.
Is everything streaming fine and everything's good to go? Everything's...
Well, your first sergeant is a little bit bigger than normal.
That's
but
right.
That's it.
That's right. That's what she said. Hang on. Let me see what's going on here. What is going on with my shit, dudes? This is fucking crazy.
Hey, I've been having electronic issues for the last week.
Jesus, dude, I don't know what's going on, man. This is one of those things to where it is like fucking going nuts. I have no idea what's going on with this thing.
Hey, I actually burned out some RAM somehow.
You burned out. So can everybody hear me just fine now? Can everybody see just fine now? Is everyone good to go? We're doing like on the stream shit, like right here, right now, happening as we speak. So if you guys, I want to make sure you guys are getting a good show. I want to make sure you guys are getting some quality broadcasting here, because it's only fair to you, the Double Chief Nation. We give you the highest quality show we can get. There we go. Hey, let me fix that. How's that? How's that looking?
Well, so far I'm getting comments G to G now. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Hang on, guys. Relax. Okay.
They say Spanky's saying there you go.
Okay. Relax. Woosah. Everyone chill, man. Everyone chill. We'll get this through this, no problem, man. That's what Sergeants do, man.
Kaz says the lag is gone and the pick is good.
Okay, good. There we go. I have no idea what was going on. All I did was stop it, and shut it down, turn it back, open back up, and refreshed it.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, I'm about to say, maybe it's because I leave the shit on all the time. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is.
Well, you know, that's what's happened to me a couple times with some programs like even Skype. If I leave it on too long, it'll say that it's going to go up, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm fucking, I don't know, maybe it's because it's me and you on Old Man Island. You know what I mean? We're here on Old Man Island. Like, wait a minute. Oh man, something's going on here. So, okay, as long as we're rocking on the fucking sounds and shit, that was weird. Because everyone's telling me that there was lag and stuff, so I'm thinking, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? So it looks like everything's back to normal, I guess.
Back up to good.
Back up to good. So, anyways, all right. I don't know what's going on in the government right now, but there's a lot of motherfucking pink slips happening, and I'm sorry. I think that what people are not realizing is that, I don't know. It's good that we have. I heard that, man. It's good that we have, a stable government and all this other shit. And, we support and defend the Constitution of the United States and support enemies, foreign and domestics, hubba, 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 who you trust, right?
Uh-huh.
But, General McMaster, it just got fired. He's no longer.
What is on their mind?
Dude, I don't know, man. So, and not only that, excuse me, but he tenured his retirement. He's like, I'm done. He's dropping paperwork. He's out. He's gone.
That's kind of okay. What was enough to make him say, I don't want to be here no more?
34 years of service, dude. 34 years. 34 years of service.
Yeah, that's too much. You have to sit there and go. Like I said, what's going on that he's in the know about? Hey, McMasters, if you're out there and if you're listening, give us a call.
Yeah, give us a call.
Come on, people. We need some info. We're starting to feel like the black men in the suits. The black suits are going to be showing up here soon.
Well, hang on for a second. There we go. I'm back. You're good. I'm just tweaking everything up and making. We're doing this on air. Fuck it. I mean, if we're doing it on air, everybody can hear us. We're rocking and rolling. I just want to make sure we got some chaps and stuff, and then all this other stuff. There we go. No, we don't, Betsy. We don't need new equipment. Come on, let's not be melodramatic. For some reason, I don't know what's going on with this damn thing. I'm telling you, for what you guys don't realize right now, currently, what's going on with Facebook. I know this is not Sergeant's Time related, but what's going on with Facebook is pretty crazy. It was Britannica, I think, Analytica. Was paid for information from this administration for their campaign. However, the same organization was paid by the Obama administration for the previous elections and did the same thing. And currently, our U.S. State Department has an account with them as well. So it's almost like you're getting mad for breathing air. Oh my God, Trump is breathing oxygen. Oh, this is an atrocity.
Atrocity, damn it, atrocity.
This is wrong. Why does Trump have to breathe air? You know what I mean? Shit like that. It's like everyone getting mad. Oh my God, Trump uses Microsoft. Well, everybody before him used Microsoft. So who cares?
They're just trying to throw something on him to see if it sticks.
Yeah, exactly.
Because right now everything has managed to melt away, and they've got midterms coming, and they're scared. So they're trying to make something stick.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm neither here nor there. I have to admit, in some ways, I like Trump just for the entertainment, but at the same time, I'm neither here nor there. So to sit there and go, oh God, pull our hair out. My hair's on fire. Come on, people, get a life.
I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of. I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay, look, it's almost like those time and place to joke around and play grab ass, right? It's fun to joke around, play grab ass when you are involved in doing. Everyone does that when we got shit going on. We're stressing out about work and we're playing grab ass and we're joking around, and we have we're just joking around, and then it's time to get down to business, right? Are we getting down to business yet? Are we any business happening right now? I don't know if any business is happening right now.
Well, that's what they're trying to keep you from seeing. I mean, if you follow the right places, Trump's getting stuff done.
Is he?
And he is pushing Congress and Senate, and as much as they hate it, he's pushing them. He is actually trying. He may not be getting them to do shit, but he's pushing them better than anybody else I've seen in a while.
Well, I mean, I'm just asking the question because it's almost like it's been. He was like, it's been great to know McMaster and this. McMaster's like, see ya. Deuces. Done.
Well, yeah, that does worry you. You know, you sit there and go, okay, what was his issue? Was it a policy issue? Was it he was fed up with people around him? Who knows? I mean, like I said, hey, McMaster, if anybody is listening who knows the guy, call us. We would love to get the skinny on this.
Yeah, I'm just I don't want to say that it was fun while it lasted, but dude, he's starting to piss me off. Not you, but but the Treasy's starting to, the haha was funny, haha, but now it's like, haha, dude, okay, yeah, we got the joke. The joke was funny the first 15 times you said it. But now it's time to get to work. Now it's time to to handle business. And the thing is that get the shit done. It's almost like he doesn't now. By all means, I am not like dissing what you just said though, Al. I'm not. You're right. I mean, he has done a lot of shit. He has done a lot of stuff to fucking move shit along, which I kind of like. I like people fucking. I don't like when people are flat dicking. You know what I mean? I don't like people who are just wasting their time and kind of him-hawing on
Make
stuff.
them do their job.
Yeah, exactly. Make them do their jobs and all this other shit.
Hold their feet to the fire.
Yeah, exactly. But that part I can totally support. But the little fucking drama going back and forth, talking all this other shit, dude. Oh my god, dude, stop. Is it funny once in a while? Ha ha ha. It's funny. Yeah, ha ha. But goddamn, now there's a Twitter war between him and Biden, talking about if they were going to kick each other's ass. And I mean, don't get me wrong, that was kind of fucking funny when Trump did say that he's going to go down crying. Nice try. that was funny. But dude, I mean, we're talking about what's going on right now with Russia. We're talking about what's going on with fucking the world. We're talking about Korea. We're talking about now's not the time to be shifting motherfuckers back and forth to do whatever. At least give people normally in a cabinet staff. Especially in something like that. A cabinet normally runs, unless you're like if you're a junior person, it's usually about a year you last there before you get reassigned or whatever. Nothing to do with what your performance is, but that's it. But once you start getting to the top level cabinet people, it's usually about a good 2-year run that you see them on before you hear about any changes, before you hear about anything that's happening within the government. National Security Advisor and all, Chief of Staff and all that. You rarely ever see a staff in any time, actually. I don't even think of any presidency that me and you've been alive where we've seen so much turnover.
I have to admit to. It has kind of concerned me, but then the turnover is a matter of these were people that he brought, he hired. Did he not quite know their personality, therefore there's a problem? Or was this just one of those, he's a control freak?
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
No, we're not. Hang on. Baby,
if you listen to people and you talk to you listen to people who've been interviewed afterwards, they're all the same. They all say that he's very controlling. Well, that can be a problem, especially for a general.
Yeah, but... Go ahead, Spanx. What were you going to say?
Or could it be that he is not, a seasoned politician? He is a seasoned businessman, and, you can't get things done, in the government as you can in the business world. And he's expecting them to be able to do things in the government in the way that you probably could do in the business world, which you can't.
No.
I mean, we all know this because we've worked in government offices and, for the government in one form or another, but he hasn't. And it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong.
And you're right. That taking that in mind, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Actually, if you think about the fact that, yeah, he's coming out from his little business world, and he's expecting everything to run that way. Maybe that's the reason he's firing, is because he's not getting the results he wants.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Maybe it's, and I'll be honest with you. In all of government work that we have been exposed to, it's rare for somebody of that in those positions to get fired so fast. You never see anybody get fired. Usually it takes a long time and a long time and a long time. Like Miss Polly Williams at Third ID, right? How long did it take for her to be working there as the fucking G8 person, working in the division arms shop, and screwing people over their vouchers and shit, and on TDY and flat dicking on DTS, and then finally somebody said, "Dude, enough," because it finally took there was a catalyst. That's how long it takes. So he's not, that we always say this term. There's a term that we say among senior leaders. It's not illegal. He's just an asshole. You know what I mean? We currently have a president now that is more hands on and is not. It doesn't let you go through the motions of, I don't know, doing your job. I mean, I would love to see. I would love to be the fly on the wall when you're asking him a question about something, and then like us, like if he asks us a question, he gets so used to getting fucking getting his way that we end up fucking just like say, "Hey, sir, you want us to run your communications agency? You have to let me fucking finish what I'm talking. You gotta stop cutting me off. You know what I mean? You stop being a dick."
Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, I think he's not business as usual, and we all knew this to begin with. But then you have to ask, how long has it been business as usual?
Yeah.
I mean, you can go back and, okay, we've had career politicians in office up until Reagan. I don't necessarily consider him a career politician. Yes, he was a governor, but he also did other things. He actually was an actor, stuff like that. So then the question is this the shakeup? Is he basically doing what he promised? Is this draining the swamp? It's just we don't know. We don't have the inside of, okay, well, he got fired. What reason did he get fired? It really takes a lot to say, you're a general, you're respected, and you're fired.
Well, and he's also, like I said, he's a general. He even said, "I'm out. I'm tendering my retirement after I'm done with this." He said, "After I'm done with this position, I'm done, retiring. I'm hanging it up." Could you imagine? That's like the last job you had, like your twilight job. Everyone has their twilight job, and it's the last job that you kind of coast out and make your last impact and all that other stuff. What a job resume. What did you work for? Can you fill out your resume, please? What's your last position? I was a national
Work for the
security.
president.
I was a national security advisor for President Trump, and what was that? Say that again. I was national security. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What do you say? You know what I mean? So
he's ending at a high, but the question is, what motivated? And like I said, okay, you and I, we need to keep repeating this. Call us, please. We promise we won't be harsh on you. We want to hear the skinny.
Yeah, we want to. Hey, exactly. Well, you're retiring, so he can say it.
Yeah.
He can call us up. Pass the pie. What is this whoopie pie we're talking about here?
I mean, come on. What's he got to lose? It's not like they're going to take anything from him. He's retiring.
Yeah, he's retiring. So that's a big flashy news that's going on right now that's been hitting the headlines fat. Like right before I came on, there's just a lot of shit that's been happening before I came on the show, and I'm setting up. Fucking computers are getting all stupid.
I can tell there was something on your mind.
Yeah, it's just frustrating right now when it just seems like when we're right before I hit fucking broadcast or start or whatever you want to call it, everything goes, bam. Now we're now fucking now we're gonna go ahead and cause World War III and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and the funny part is, for me, it's just about 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock when for me, but with you, the news cycle, as far as they're concerned, is already stopped, so they can start putting stuff out and not expect it to hit until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or late tonight.
Yeah, exactly. What's up, Doc? Doc.
Is Doc?
Doc. What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What's up, man?
Can you hear me now? We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
All right. I wasn't sure. This mute button looks weird. It's like backwards of what it should be.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
You're not supposed to be calling from the strip bar, man.
No, he's calling from his jazzy Starbucks. So
I'm good. Carry on.
okay, cool. Thanks. The doctor has spoken. No, but my biggest thing, again, it's one of those things to where, look, okay, in the middle of all the negotiations and stuff like that, you don't careful how you fling it. I'm all, don't get me wrong, I don't like using fucking buzzwords and coining the phrase, but he is, how do I say this? He's cleaning house. How about that? I'm not saying drain the swamp, because there are some people that there's not even on the Democrat side, but there's even more fervor and anger against him on the Republican side. They can't stand his ass. And they were the ones that were fighting so much and saying that motherfucker. I mean, he is the guy that went in there and just fucked everybody up by winning. If you think fucking, if you think the fucking Democratic Party and Hillary was fucking all upset like goddamn David Hogg on a fucking interview, then you would really be fucking shocked that the Republicans were even worse, because he broke through their fucking
their line of saying, okay,
exactly.
We got the next one picked.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was going to be either Jeb Bush or it was going to be like Mitt Romney or something like that, or Marco Rubio. Those are the ones that were going to, be like the superstars and all that. And I will say this, the reason why he won was because all those fuckers were attacking him and all that stuff, and the normal, simple, well, at least my state doesn't have, an overall tax revenue of over 12%. And that's how that, he didn't say that. He said, shut up, you little-handed bastard, to Marco Rubio.
Well,
You know what I mean?
the whole thing is, he acted like you and me. He portrayed how we would act.
Yeah, I mean, again, but now let's move over to the business practice. You're right, business practices or something like that. But not after.
Dude, he knew his audience, like bottom
Yeah,
fucking line.
of course.
Oh yeah,
Of course. But I'm talking about now, while you're doing, when you're in the middle of a strategery shit, when you're doing strategery, in the middle of stuff that's happening, in the middle of trade shit, in the middle of fucking budget passing, in the middle of fucking defense shit, in the middle of fucking setting up to go fuck people up in other countries, is not the time to remove somebody who was the ambassador to the UN and now who is like one of the biggest fucking, the guys that likes to talk on fucking Fox about bombing everybody. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all about, kicking some ass and taking aims, but it's also be smart about it.
UN doesn't bomb anybody. They just hand out fucking MREs and shit.
Yeah. Well,
you should be handing out 7.62 and 5.56.
Exactly. 112 grain diplomacy. You know what I'm saying?
No patient, no problem.
Exactly. No women, no kids. But nowadays it doesn't matter anymore because they all fucking carry guns. In a wartime, guys, don't fucking too crazy and shit. So again, you just kind of like, dude, were you really gonna sit there and fire your cabinet like midstream or midstroke or whatever? 18 months now we have been preparing for war in Korea, on the Korea Peninsula. This is open source, so I'm not gonna blabbing any shit. Everybody from U.S. PACOM to all the Pacific Rim countries have all been saying that we are now ready to go in Korea for the last 18 months, and it's just now been released that now, praise, hello, that he wants to talk in May. Make up your mind what you want. Do you want him to go ahead and unscrew
He's he's kind of a weirdo, man. Like, he just wanted attention. Like, he could have said so, The fat boy. I mean,
exactly.
The Korean one.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's all he does. He wants attention because he's not getting what he wants, because he keeps getting embargoed to the point where he's living high on the hog while his people starve. Well, if he can get us to come in and talk, maybe he'll get some stuff hopefully eased up, and then he'll maybe start playing his games just like he used to always do.
Oh, hang on. Breaking news just right now. China raises tariffs on U.S. pork, aluminum, and other goods in response to the Trump tariff hike. So now
We're in a tariff war.
we're in a tariff war against the tariffs. We must bring the
Fuck
tariffs to
those
justice.
guys.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want our bacon? Fine. We won't send you bacon. Aluminum?
That's fine.
Who cares?
I mean, come on. We've got enough stuff going on in our U.S. My feeling is we should look inward anyway and take care of ourselves anyway, and sit there and worrying about exports. You know what? We could do just as well by selling it here in the U.S.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, I agree to an extent, but I also say that like global economy is changing so fast right now. It's almost unpredictable in the future.
Oh, I agree.
And I'm not. That's what I just wanted to make that premise to say I have no fucking idea what it's gonna be, but I don't think that any alienation on the global market for any country is fucking good. I think that those consequences are potentially of limiting exports is going to be like more detrimental than fucking wars and like really long-term effects wise.
Oh, yeah, don't even mention about that. Everyone's talking about, was it good that we went into Iraq and also the shut, and everyone's asking General Petraeus, was it a good idea for us to go there, and he didn't even want to answer that right.
No.
Yeah. It wasn't a good idea, dude. So anyways, to go back where we're saying, Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster was a battle-tested Army officer tapped as President Trump National Security Advisor last year to stabilize the turbulent foreign policy, will resign and be replaced by John R. Bolton, the hardline former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Now, as far as having a representative on as an ambassador to the United Nations, you can't be a puss when you're doing that job. You have to be stern and you have to be steadfast when you're being an ambassador for us on the UN. You just have to, because you have other countries that will sit there and beat their shoe in the fucking podium and call us dogs and all this other shit, and like that's it, right? So not a big deal. However, he's gonna come on here and now everyone's gonna freak out and think that we need to start building our freaking shelters because this guy's gonna he's gonna turn us into fucking glowers. Because he's gonna say the wrong thing to somebody, and it's not gonna be. And honestly, I don't.
He should just show up to Fox News and be like Wolverines.
Yeah, exactly.
Just drop mic and fucking pop smoke.
Yeah, exactly. Viva Pineland. When your Pineland is just right. Fuck.
Nice.
But my biggest thing again is that I would have hoped that he would at least gave him, because like I said, a standard cabinet position is usually are on there for 2 years or so, and then they go off and move and do better things or something like that. But dude, just you give the guy a break, not even fucking 18 months. And what is he moving at? Is he moving at the speed of what? Of the bureaucracy that's already in place from the last 5 administrations that have been tenured there? You got to remember, there's people there that have been forever. That this is not. They've been there for so long.
Yeah, we can't discount that, dude.
Yeah.
That does have a tremendous impact on shit.
Correct.
For all we know, maybe he's getting fired, but for all we know, he also doesn't want to be there just for the simple fact he's tired of the crap too.
That's why he dropped retirement.
I mean, all those people. I mean, come on, like you said, all those people who have been sitting there for how many administrations, and they've seen them come and go, and they'll just sit there and look at someone coming in, and they'll go, okay, yeah, whatever you say, I'll tell you how it is. I mean, how many times have you had that where you walk in, you're the new guy, and you have someone who civilian, they just sit there day in and day out telling you, they'll sit there and say, yeah, go ahead. You can sit there and tell me you want new policy and everything else. I'll just keep doing things the way I do until you come around to the fact I know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, that was my first counseling when I moved to my multi-star command that I went to, because I told a civilian that they needed to unfuck themselves, and they were pretty upset that they had their way for everybody, and we were wondering why. shit would move forever, and because the way it worked in the shop that I'm at is that you do a piece of the work, it goes to the civilian looks at it, and then they tell you to come back to see what's up, and you come back like a couple days later and like, oh no, I haven't done that shit, I'm gonna wait till the end of the week, and I say it's already the end of the week. Oh no, next week. And you can't like fucking haul off and make them do fucking push-ups or whatever. Well, this kept going and going and going, and there was a suspense that needed to be turned into the hire. And the big army, they don't fuck around. They'd say, hey, this needs to be turned in because of blah 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 blah. The big sergeant will leave behind. Well, yeah, that's exactly what happened. There was a tasking that needed to be done, and there was some stuff that I needed civilians to be dependent on, and only like one or two would help me up. And then I had this wall in front of me. So I was just like, whatever, okay. So then I leaped the wall by saying, actually I didn't leap the wall. I said, what do you do? I said my exact words were, well, I shouldn't say my exact words. Pretty much I'm paraphrasing as what do you fucking do here? Why are you even here? When you retired from the military, how many years ago? You were, blah, 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 blah. Then it became into, back when I was this and back when I was that. And I told that individual to go whatever. And then they got butt hurt. And then I think it was all cool, right? Because the same individual likes fucking dropping F-bombs and all sorts of shit and talks about whatever.
Oh, but they're a civilian.
Exactly.
So they can do the double standard thing on you just like that. Oh my God.
They did. They did. So, one star and a couple of colonels later. I was told that.
That's what she said.
Exactly. I couldn't fucking go. I couldn't talk to the individual anymore. The person then got scared. Mr. I'm a big badass and I did this and I did that. All of a sudden is scared because,
Oh, you approached them in a threatening manner.
Yeah, no. Well, I like the fact that now adults of our age out are using kids' terms like microaggressions. What the fuck is a microaggression? Don't be a bitch. You know what I mean? What's going on, WTF Nation Gaming? How y'all doing? Thanks for joining us. Speaking of joining us today, we're gonna have Chris Brunetti, Bryan McCullough, and I think it's Byon McCullough, not Bryan McCullough, and Braddock. I think it's Bryan. I don't think it's Bryan McCullough.
You're gonna make me go look this up.
It is Byon.
It's Byon. Oh. It's my mistake. Hang on. Alexa. Hi, eyes. Nope, not that one. Not that Alexa. Hang on. Let me fix this post.
You a good Joe, yeah.
Exactly. Oh, hi, eyes. That would be my Alexa right there. That would be my Alexa. That'd be like, oh, eyes, make fun of my fucking accent, huh?
Watch, you of all people would be able to get Alexa butt hurt.
No, not by far. She'll probably complain to Microsoft and whatever. I'll get in trouble for pissing off civilians and all this other shit.
That's what I mean. You'll get her butt hurt. Yeah, exactly.
So we're gonna have Byon McCullough and director Bryan Braddock, and our friend of Sergeant's Time, Chris Brunetti. If you guys don't know who Chris Brunetti is already, he's one of our actors that likes to come on. Occasionally in Sergeant's Time. He's one of the Sergeant's Time regulars, and he's going to come on with those other two guys to talk about one of the projects they did about working with veterans and homelessness, and which will kind of, I think this is kind of explaining why Chris has been kind of like out of the net. He's going to give us some updates on his previous work and stuff like that as well, and some of the stuff that we came on, and I'm excited because, like I said, he comes on here and gives. I want to find out more dirt on this game, on this House of Cards shit, this big scandal that happened. Maybe he can talk about it now. Maybe he can give us some. Give us some of the deets on
Well, and so even though they're shutting it down, we can sit there and say, okay, now also where were they gonna go with it?
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Well, not to mention the fact that they completely cut it out. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, so here's the thing. You guys know what happened, real quick. I think I'll talk about that in the third hour. me see if I can. As a matter of fact, no, actually, no. We got a few minutes. We can talk about this. Hang on, real quick. Let me pull
Lay it on me.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Y'all remember about Salsa Greg, right?
Salsa.
No.
You don't remember?
I do.
Is that a bath thing during salsa night?
Yeah, that's gonna say that sounds bath salts.
No, no. No. Salsa Greg is the guy that was taught. He's the one that said that military or nothing but the low. The data is in and all.
Oh, right.
That
Yeah,
damn.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for you guys don't remember, if you guys want me to go ahead and refresh your memory, I could do that. General Perkins came on and discussed it on Fox and said you guys full of shit and blah blah blah. So here's what happened. Let me just recap what you guys what's going on. So stand by. You guys aren't going to hear anything in here, but everybody else outside will hear it. Hang on. So stand by.
Think about the people who you know are over there. Your freaking stupid Uncle Louie or whatever. They're dumb. They're not like high-level thinkers. They're not academic people. They're not intellectual people. They're the freaking lowest of our low. That's how I came when the president's office says we have the best military than the president's anybody. I was like, no, we don't. The data is in. We don't have a good military. We haven't been able to beat these guys wearing freaking robes and chakras for 15 years. We haven't been able to beat anyone since World War II.
You just got a lot of people like
Data's in. Well,
anyways, so you guys remember that, right? Salsa Greg?
Yeah.
He got fired. He got fired. So Salsa
and he deserved it.
So Salsa Greg got fired.
Bless his heart.
Yeah, exactly. What other microaggression, passive aggressive comments? Bless your heart. Hey, bye Felicia. Auf Wiedersehen, Felicia. Das Vidania, Felicia. See ya. He was fired, and the council, the city council of Whittier, actually was the one that did that.
I thought you were gonna leave the council, the council.
No,
the Jedi Council.
No.
Whoa. What?
So Salsa Greg was fired. No longer holds his position as teaching and as a member of the city council. So yeah,
I'm surprised they got away with firing him just because of the way the teachers union works.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think what happened is that they kind of left it. They had this big, it was like a public forum, and it lasted almost 20 hours. Like it started at a certain time of the day and went into like the middle of the night. And,
wow.
Yeah, and it was just nothing but him fucking just. Everyone was just lashing at him. All the veterans, place that you would not think.
He was just getting gangbanged. 20-hour gangbang.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
No pun. But
no lube.
He of course from after making those comments and saying that if the military was the low, then that's when he. I'm sorry, we had a, we had to go ahead and bring that up because everyone seemed to have forgotten about that incident. Well, I'm not. I'm making sure that we bring back up that Salsa Greg was fired. So.
So everybody put your hands together and say, yay.
Yeah, exactly. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. But yeah. So anyways, that was one of the other big news. Well, shit. Well, we got 15 freaking minutes already before the top of the hour. You talk too damn much, Al.
I talk too damn much, huh?
I'm just kidding, man.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not talking hardly at all today. I'm actually behaving.
No, I'm just messing with you, man.
I know.
This computer shit just frustrates the crap out of me.
I could tell. I was actually going to tell you, take a deep breath, man, and let your mind clear. I could tell it really got you.
I was getting mad because it was doing right. I hate it, and then appreciate you guys being patient with me on this stuff.
I understand the whole computer. That's what I've been dealing with for the last couple of days. That's why when I sat there and was watching you, I would say, well, at least I'm not the only one today.
Yeah, exactly. So breaking news again. The main page posted I guess there were some vehicles that were parked outside of a gym at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. All the vehicles that were parked at Sabo Gym will not be towed and will not be impounded or at any time prior to the return of the soldiers from JRTC. When the situation was brought to the attention of the garrison leadership, they intervened on behalf of the strike spouses to stop the enforcement of this specific parking regulation. So now they were the threat before is that if you are parked around this specific area, then you are going to have your shit towed and impounded. And of course, the impound is like $50 a day or some shit like that. So the guys just took off to JRTC. Garrison leadership, that's awesome. Good stuff.
Well, at least someone did something right.
Yeah, that was kind of a shock. That was not like it's not like you walked out to the fucking range and picked up a frag it didn't blow up and then try to blow it up again. So did you guys see that on the main page? Holy shit. Oh my god. That was fucking crazy.
Oh, what a day.
Yeah, exactly. What a day. So if you got
that was way too specific for it to have been a random fucking ISISM.
Why?
Oh, you didn't see that one.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh.
Like, okay.
But you haven't seen it, then you need to jump on the main page, brother, and check out that video that's on there. Somebody who has got like 0 fucks and decided to go ahead and, hey, yeah, frag didn't blow up. Went over there and grabbed the frag, shoved the pin back in, and then gave the frag back to the kid to throw it.
Must have been a long day.
I'm about to say,
he's like, please, hand grenade gods, just take me.
Exactly.
God.
Oh, man.
I've had those.
Yeah, exactly. So
rinse, repeat.
Yeah, exactly. Rinse, repeat, and that's it. So, anyways, hey, we're gonna take a break because we gotta get the show up ready for Chris and the gang to come on here to talk about their project. We're pretty stoked about it.
I have some questions for him. Since I haven't actually listened to him before, so.
Oh, you never. Oh, then go ahead. You got the questioning and stuff going on. That way we can, like I said, you get
the Inquisition.
Yep, exactly.
Well, you have to understand the homeless thing. I actually, a couple months ago, was working with someone, and had it not been a fallout, I was actually going to be a part of a group that was going to try to put together some land and housing and such for homeless. And the now that group is kind of fallen apart, and it goes back to some, I don't want to get it too far into it because it was actually pretty sad, but it had a lot to do with egos. And so now I'm trying to find out what's out there and see what maybe I can pull, because there's another group now thinking about doing it, and I want to try to point them in the direction of what should they emulate.
Yeah, well, I mean,
nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'd be kind of cool to see what they're doing, because he's gonna come on and I kind of know what's going on with him, but I would rather just have him say what's going on with his project and ask him what it's about. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm curious to see what he's got. I'll let him do all the talking. So we're gonna take a break, and then a little bit, just a little bit at the top of the hour.
Go take a nice deep breath and don't let the computer crap get you.
Oh, come on, dude! You're doing that holistic breathing and meditation with the shaman. Is that what you're saying?
Hey,
with that enema.
give me a chance. I will teach you some stuff.
Oh my God, dude!
I'll have you teaching your privates.
Oh man! All right. Well, hey, check this out. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. Actually, we're gonna take a break to get us to the top of the hour. Listen to some tunes while we get Chris and the gang online, and then we'll be on in a second, and then shots.
Warning shots.
Time you waste, and your table's overturned. Sooner or later you crash, then you burn. I think I wanna die tomorrow. And how you gonna
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger-qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.
And we're back, part 2 of Sergeant's Time, broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence. This 22 March 2018 with our guests, Chris Brunetti, Byon No Cash McCullough, and Bryan Braddock. What's going on, guys?
Good. Hey, man, how you doing?
Oh, man. Oh, I'm pumped. Welcome back, Chris.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me back.
This is this explaining why you've been silent the whole time?
Well, yeah, I've been busy, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. When was the last time I was on? November?
Yeah, something like that. You said you were going to go dark. You're going to do a project, and you won't be able to have social media access. So I think this is the project you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've been off social media since September. I've worked on a couple of different projects. This is probably been the biggest and the most exciting one. The one that as soon as I started working on it, I knew I wanted to come on and talk to you guys about it.
Of course. So tell us what's up.
I don't know where to start. Well, I'll give you the rundown of Byon and Bryan, and then I'll let them take over for a second. Bryan is the executive director of a homeless ministry here in Florence, South Carolina. It's the House of Hope. I'll let him tell you about the House of Hope very briefly.
Yeah, so the House of Hope is a ministry. We serve about 85 people each and every night, and we have one shelter that's emergency shelter. We serve men, women, and families, children, about 35 people a night there. That's short-term, overnight food, shelter, clothing, and then case management to figure out what the issue is and point them in the right direction. And then we have a long-term men's facility, 9 to 12 month, with a life recovery program where we add to the food, shelter, and clothing, job training, financial training. We're a Christian ministry, so we offer Christian discipleship and just life recovery skills. So that's us. We've been around for about 25 years.
And you're located out of where, Bryan?
Out of Florence, South Carolina.
Florence, South Carolina. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir. And then Byon, who's also from Florence, who's a YouTube star. I'm gonna let him tell you a little bit about himself.
Peace and love, everybody. I'm just a little nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save everybody. I started my journey. I fell on hard times, make some wrong decisions in life, and it landed me in prison. I did a 5-year bid and came home, and I became homeless because of it. I lost my grandmother and my grandfather while I was away on that bid, and they raised me all of my life. So when I came home, this videographer stepped to me and was telling me how talented I was. I didn't have any money or anything to do nothing with him, but he waived the prices for working with him and said that if I allowed him to put the first couple of videos up that we shot together on his YouTube channel, if they did well, he would help me start my own YouTube channel. And at the time, I didn't know anything about YouTube because when I left the streets, it was about MySpace, and I had a little MySpace. Yeah, I had a little MySpace page. I didn't know anything about Facebook or any other new social media outlets. But lo and behold, the videos actually went viral. It was Homeless Man Sings for Big Mac, the first one. Homeless Man Sings Drake, and Homeless Man Sings John Legend, All of Me. They all went viral. He kept his end of the bargain, and he built me a YouTube channel that today has over 120,000 subscribers and over 40 million views. And I'm an advocate for the homeless. I also, just wanted to try to do all that I can to try to bring awareness to it, at the same time helping myself. And so I ran into Bryan, and he was passionate about the same things that I was passionate about. And we got together on this project. And so we're here with you now.
So what turned you after your experience in being incarcerated? What was the
say it again? What
turned you? What was the moment before you realized? When you came out of prison?
Well, all of my life, I sold drugs all my life, needless to say, but so I didn't have really no work skills or nothing like that. So when I was in prison, I came faced with the questions of what was I going to do when I get back out? And it probably would have been selling drugs again if I didn't have kids. And so I began to ask myself questions like, if I could get back out of prison and make $1 million, would I be all right with being locked up again with $1 million and being able to take care of my kids from behind the wall? Or would I rather be there with my kids and be broke? And I came up with the decision that my presence would be the best thing that I could give my kids. So the $1 million would be nothing. And in fact, if I got locked up again with $1 million, I would be willing to give the whole $1 million up to get out of jail. So it's kind of stupid to get out and do the things that would land you in prison. So my mind figured that out, and I said that selling drugs wouldn't be an option for me. So when I came home, that's why I fell on hard times, not having any work skills, having felonies on your record, and not being able to really get a job so easily. And even if you landed a job, it wouldn't be good enough to take care of you and 3 kids. So I just fell on a little struggle, but God bless me. I used my talents and my gifts. I leaned on those. People was telling me in prison, they said, there's a verse in the Bible that says, your gift shall open up doors and place you before great men. And when I came home, I had nothing but my gift to lean upon. And I did that wholeheartedly. And it landed me here again with you.
So that means that y'all are great men.
Oh, well, we appreciate it because we WTF Nation Radio, we believe, and that's the whole point of that type of system. You're there to you endure it. You've paid your time, and now that's it. Your debt to society has been paid, and now it's your time to redeem. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So if you redeem yourself, if you paid that penance in society that way, then there's nothing wrong with there. You should come out with a clean slate. You know what I mean? You made the right choice because you're here.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man.
So that's just the way I see it. All right, so let's get this. I want to get to the meat of this experience that you're talking about, Chris. Go for it.
So so this is the you got their background and kind of a little bit about them. But what's interesting, and we talked about this a little bit beforehand, both these men have multiple felonies, both Bryan and No Cash.
4-piece.
Yep.
4-piece, no lease.
And Bryan's the executive director of a homeless ministry, and Byon's homeless. So it's Byon's super talented, trying to make it right, trying to, integrate back into society, use his gifts to help other people out. And Bryan, and he'll tell you himself, he's not the most talented person you've ever met. On the surface, it should be the other way around. The guy with talent, should be the one who's, thriving. And the guy who with no talent, no skills is the one that should be struggling. And yet for some reason, that's not what's happening. So Bryan, called me up and he said, hey, we have this idea. We want to go live homelessly for an entire week. We want to kind of pull the curtain back and see what it's like, on the street. Because Bryan, even though he's an executive director of a homeless ministry, has never been homeless himself. And so that's a gift that Byon could give him, the gift of truth and understanding and seeing what it's like when the rubber meets the road. And in turn, what Bryan is hoping to give to Byon is connecting him with mentors and people who can help him. Because like you said, he's paid his dues. Both these men, one for 5 years, one for 8 years, paid their debt to society. and are trying to climb back out of the hole that they had put themselves in. And now, we're hoping through this project, that we can find people to help Byon and help, kind of elevate him to a place where he's financially stable, where he has a roof over his head, where, he has food, in his, in his refrigerator. And the crazy thing is, even, in the position he's in a position of lack, he's the one that reached out to Bryan and said, hey, I'm an advocate for the homeless. You're an advocate for the homeless. Let's do something. So they called me up and had this crazy idea. And you don't give me a crazy idea because I'm going to run with it. They said, let's live homelessly for a week. And so we called up, some of my friends in Augusta, Georgia. We dropped them off on Monday. It was raining. It was 30 degrees outside. We dropped them off 6 miles from their nearest safe point.
Oh yeah.
And told them to get walking.
Yeah, they got us into character real quick. I was thinking it's going to take 24 to 48 hours to get into character, to look like a homeless person. And I've been growing out my beard for about 6 months, but telling you, a 6 mile walk in the rain,
it'll get you there real fast.
That was it. That was a 2-hour transformation right into character, right into homeless character.
So that was the research, all you needed right there. That was it.
Yeah,
that was it. Man. You couldn't have scripted any better.
We knew it wasn't no turning back after that, Jack. I'm telling you.
So after that started, then what was your first? I mean, because what that's why I was excited about you coming back, Chris. Because as soon as I saw what you were going to be talking about, I want everybody to understand that what did you do? I mean, give us some of the survivals, because there's some individuals that are some of our listeners that don't understand that 1 minute life could be great and life could be happy, and then the next thing you know, you're dropped off somewhere in Augusta in the rain, and you don't know you know what I mean? What did you do? What was your first reaction?
First thing is shelter. You got to get shelter, and you got to find a safe place. And so we had a destination, in mind. We want to be near some resources, so we just walked to try to find an abandoned building or an abandoned lot or something of that sort. So you go primal real quick. You gotta find a place to get out of the weather. But being homeless, it can't just be any place. It's got to be a secluded place.
Because you can't have no trespassing when you're trying to get locked up or any of that stuff. And we didn't know where we was, but it was like, get up out of this rain.
Yeah.
And
could you guys hide in like the fucking in the top of the shelves in like Walmart or like fucking some kind of like, what's the other fucking store called?
Well, no, I'm gonna tell you what Bryan did. Bryan pulled out some of his boys.
I saw a show like that, dude.
Listen, if I was by myself out there like that, we probably would have been lost. But Bryan had some Boy Scout skills, and we ran across this trash can. The first thing we saw was like some tarp in there, and Bryan was like, "Look here, man! God was on the outside. We got some tarp here." And so we got some old pipes, and we kind of stick the pipes into the ground and lean them off the wall so that we can kind of drape the tarps over the pipes to make us like a little station, unsheltered place. I mean, a sheltered place right up under the tarp together.
That's good shit.
That was the first bit of shelter that we came across when we was out there.
Yeah, because I think Brunetti scouted out the area and made sure that there wasn't. We never saw a Walmart. How can you be in a city in the South? We never saw a Walmart the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
So Brunetti staked it out, and he's like, yeah, let's make sure there's no Walmart or no. We didn't.
Yeah, he was trying to be tough on us. Then he gonna tell us. He gonna tell us he gonna take us about a mile out. And we're gonna get to walking and get a little. Man, they dropped us off at the highway. We been walking 6 miles, man.
Well,
by the time we stopped, we was worn out already from the walk.
Chris is, he does that. He was doing that for a living, right? That was kind of like.
Yeah, we didn't know all that.
We didn't know that. We found out real fast, and it continued on. But Bryan picked up on it. Bryan was like, you know what? After the second day, he was like, you know what? Chris got a few tricks up his sleeves because he's trying this, and you ain't noticing. But I'm not going to be doing this and this and that. Here's what we're going to do. So Bryan had him figured out.
So, go ahead. No, go ahead. I cut you off.
Well, and so their first need is shelter, and I'm going to interject a little bit with just 2 things. Water. One of the biggest things they found out real quick, and I'm not going to lie, going into it, this is something I didn't even really anticipate. I mean, we had water, not to say that. There was no place for them to get water. Like, none. They're like, where do you get water when you can't go in a store, you can't buy water to drink? Like, I mean, you can get a couple of sips out of a sink, maybe.
Yeah, but you could bring in, like, you got to dig through the trash, find a fucking nice empty bottle.
Yep.
You know, but it's a matter of it's from survival school methodology. It's called going ugly early.
Yeah.
You gotta, just like you guys were saying at the park.
Urine and all that, but I figured, I'd wait until day 3
Damn,
when
dude.
we started the
Took it.
urine, like straining and bowling and all that stuff.
Catching rain or whatever,
I was just totally fucking taking my time.
I was about to
waiting
say-
for a good moment to slip in the drink my own piss bit, but
I just want to point out you got beat to it by the executive director of a homeless ministry. The man doesn't even swear and he beat
clever.
So shelter was day 1, and then I'm fat, and Byon isn't. So Byon had been telling me, like, leading up to it, he's like, man, you need to cut away from that food and go ahead and get yourself like prepped up for not eating, And I went the whole other way. I'm like, I'm going to eat a lot and prep myself up for starving. And so it took us 2 days to find food at the food bank. That was number 2. Byon went 24 hours without drinking water. I'm not going to tell you how I got water. We talked about that a few minutes ago. But but then 2 days before we found food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they had because it was 30 degrees out, so for safety's sake, because you don't want them to die, because then documentary, you have a lawsuit.
Yeah.
And then you don't have a show.
Correct. They had a building that they were allowed. It was like a safe house that they were allowed to go in. And one of the guys was like, "Oh, we'll bring him a heater." And I said, "You're gonna bring him a what?"
No, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. The guy said, we're going to bring y'all a few heaters back. And they went along with everything like the heaters was going to be coming. And we're going to be waiting on these heaters. And the heaters never showed up.
Yeah.
And we were blowing smoke all night, and we weren't smoking. So
That's right.
It was, that warehouse might have been 38 degrees, and we were wet.
Yeah.
And we slept in our shoes, teeth
Socks.
chattering. Yeah.
Listen, man.
We didn't spoon that night. I think what night was it? Like the
I
third.
think it was the third night.
Third night we spooned.
Yeah. The cold would lay on you like a blanket.
So did not? I mean, you were not able to build a fire anywhere where you were at.
Not that day because everything was wet. We tried to build a fire, and we could not build a fire because everything was soaking wet.
Yeah.
And I think around the third day we found like another spot like outside, and we that kind of camped out there, and we built us a little fire there. I tell you, man, listen, I would have been lost if it wasn't for Bryan and his old Boy Scout skills. I'm telling you, man. I mean, hands down, he had us surviving on that end, and me and my panhandling kept him eating.
Yeah, it was a mix of street and country.
Yeah, man, we had to work together.
And a veteran poking at you guys. Is that
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, that's right.
Come on, man.
Yes, sir.
Trying to make it hard for him.
Chris, were you holding out on any training? I mean, because I know you were in RSOF, so I know you had.
Oh yeah.
You were just playing dumb or something like Matt Damon.
No, I wasn't playing dumb. I was making him miserable.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
Yeah. I mean so in the purpose. I mean, there's dual purposes. The one of the primary purposes of this was to really get a look at what it means to be homeless. And when you're homeless, you don't have resources. Even in the situation they were, which was terrible, they still had more resources than your average homeless person on the street because they had a team around them, making sure they were safe.
Absolutely.
We gave them access to a building that they weren't breaking into, so that they didn't have to worry about cops. But it was necessary, I think, both for them and then for us to see what is it really like, because in talking with and while they were doing that, we were interviewing everybody from the Augusta Rescue Mission. We interviewed the chief of police. We interviewed different organizations that worked with the homeless. The transition to homelessness sometimes can be 24 hours. Like one day, and it's usually a series of events that build up, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're blindsided. One gentleman who was in at the rescue mission and was going through their program, which is a 2-year program. Put that in perspective. It takes them 2 years with all their resources, and they literally, have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their budget from the day somebody walks in their front door within, they're inpatient essentially, through job training, conflict resolution training, how to handle their finances, helping them find work, because if they have felonies, nobody wants to hire them. Working on, how to succeed in life, essentially. 2 years from the day somebody walks in to the day that they graduate to the program that they can reintegrate into society. So when you have all the resources available to you, to succeed from being homeless to not is a Herculean effort, as it were. But for everybody else who doesn't have those resources, and you wake up and you're a carpenter and you break your arm and you can't afford health insurance, so you can't get your arm fixed, and now you're out of a job, what do you do?
I think just real quick, like one major difference that I would point out, and I'm not in any way taken away from your guys' experience. Like that's not the intent of why I bring this up, but I just kind of occurred to me that preparing and being ready to go into something like that, it's gonna alter the experience, and we're not anybody that's I just hope that nobody that's been homeless before is not listening to it and being like, oh, you don't fucking know, and they don't get bummed out or feel negatively about it. That's not the point, man.
They're just trying to understand, and that's
anybody and it's in no way gonna be the same.
No, not even close. Yeah. Being dropped in, I mean, like you said, if you have a broken arm or just things go wrong, one minute you're doing fine, within 24 hours to a week. Some people, they go from have a home to have a car to then have nothing. Because even a car at least has a roof.
That was me. That was me. Hi guys.
Oh hey, guys, we got KJ. He's the operator of Jose's taco truck, and he's gonna come on here and shoot the breeze with you guys too about it. So
good deal.
That's awesome.
Well, real quick, I want to say that was a huge concern for me. Being the executive director of a homeless organization, I didn't want to in any way do anything to disrespect the people that we serve. And I wanted to get as true a perspective as I could of homelessness. And, like the cliche is walk a mile in a man's shoes. I think I ended up walking about 40, but I always had an end date, and so, I always bore that in mind. And, I have the deepest respect for homeless people, and I earned a greater respect. People said, Bryan, was it eye-opening? No, it wasn't just eye-opening. It was heart-opening, because I've been working with homeless people for 5 years. Before that, I'm a recovering drug addict, and I was working with people recovering from addiction to drugs. But I had never been on the street homeless, and so I know that what I experienced is 10 times harder for someone who's truly homeless. So, yeah, I echo those sentiments, guys. I don't want anyone to think that we were trying to minimize, their situation. Actually, it was maximized for me in what I learned, just a street with an end date.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of careful about. I was trying to find the right words. I respect what you guys did. I think it's definitely not some fun. You know how there's rich people that go out fucking slumming or whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't a bullshit put together.
Yeah,
it was actually a true, honest try.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that I can respect.
And it's in order to help people in the long run.
Yeah. I mean, you started probably by the end of the week to finally get starting to get a glimpse of the mental that goes behind having nothing.
Was you following us?
They were hugging and spooning by what night 3 you said?
Man, I mean, we was tearing and crying and all kind of going on by the end of the week, man. You right. It was real.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I had told ICE I'd actually up until a couple months ago was trying to get into work with a program because I'm a counselor, ministerial counselor, and we were some of the people involved. They were so disheartened because they had a hard time dealing with the emotional that came in, and they were working with veterans.
Yeah. Oh.
And so that not only did you have to deal with the fact that they carry the baggage, because these guys were the had seen battle, just can't cope with coming back. Then you've got to deal with the fact that they're still on full alerts. They're still battle ready, because when they're out on the streets, what are they doing?
You're fighting to survive. That's one of the things we talked about. You're either predator or prey. Like there's no
exactly.
middle.
Exactly.
I think that was the most harrowing part when I lost my home, when I got kicked out of my parents' house, was I have my 95 Buick Pimpmobile and nothing else. I had no clothes. I had minimal clothes, no blankets, no nothing. And sitting there and knowing that this one place inside these 4 doors was my safe zone. Fuck. I didn't want to park at Walmart. Nothing.
Come on, man. I feel you there. That's the same thing what happened to me. That's when I fell on my level of homelessness when my mom kicked me. Well, it didn't allow me to come in her home from prison. It was like, you on your own. And I didn't have that car with the 4 doors and the roof over my head.
Yeah, I feel you there, brother.
Yeah. And see, this is the type of stuff that really, getting people ready for work, you have to get them to get to the status to the feel that they are capable. I mean that, and I when Bryan, with you and your ministry, that's probably your biggest battle. In fact, when the people I was working with, they had a hard time getting their patronage to accept.
Yeah, that was going to be my thing. How do you the acceptance? No, the acceptance, because I know in some communities, once you've been a convicted felon, that they, like you said before, Chris, that they kind of like, they don't want to hear it, they don't want to see it, they don't want to. I mean, did you feel any of that stigma? Did you feel like you were the outcast, being, when you were, like you said, you were there for a week, so about day 4, I mean, when you said you were panhandling, how did it feel to you to do that? I mean, what was the, I couldn't even imagine that.
I tell you what was the most convicting thing for me is, and I'm just going to be for real, is
go for it.
Being the executive director of a homeless organization. I had the box checked on helping homeless people. So when I got off work, or when I was on vacation, if I saw homeless people, I was doing the same crappy stuff that people did to me for a week. And that was hold my head down and walk fast, or cut the corner so I didn't have to, run within earshot because I'm scared to death that they're going to ask for $2 or need something. And so the gut wrenching part for me all week is I saw myself and all these people that were just walking by and completely ignoring us. We were in the South, and everyone says hey to everyone in the South. I said hey to 10 people, and 2 people said hey back to me, but never looked me in the eyes. And so that was what wrecked me. Is here I'm a Christian executive director of a homeless ministry, checking off the box, on what I'm getting paid to do, and not really truly meeting people where they were, which is exactly where Jesus met me when I was, on my hands and knees searching my floor mat of my truck for crack cocaine 11 years ago. That's where Jesus met me. But here I'm sitting back, and we're waiting for the homeless people to come to us, and we serve them well when they come to us. But the cultural change that I want to see made at my organization and other organizations is go out and meet people where they are. And
just don't set yourself up for a letdown, because as much, and you know this as much as I do, and this was part of the thing we had to be aware of working with homeless. There are actually some homeless that want to be homeless, and some homeless that actually take advantage of it.
And that's fine. And if they want it, and that's what I realized is that society chewed them up and kicked them to the curb. And here, I can never understand when someone came to our facility and we told them, hey, we're going to give you food, shelter, clothing. We're going to help you get a job and help you get back into society. This was the same society that had treated them like crap and had been treating them like crap as well.
Yep.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that one, man. Fuck them. That's exactly what's going through their mind.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, we'll help you get a job. Fuck you, so I can pay taxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, fuck that, man.
Yeah, so someone else can, take this away or take that away, and so
they'd rather just survive.
Yeah,
that's right. And the community, what I learned real quick too, and I had so much more to learn that No Cash Byon was my guide. He is homeless today by definition. If someone else can make a decision whether you're staying on the street or not, if where you stay at night is not your decision, but someone else's, you're homeless. And that's where Byon is today. So he was my guide on the street. And that's what I learned is that the community of homeless people, I didn't feel racism. And in every situation, I was the minority. At the food bank, in the shelter, on the street, I was the minority. Never felt racism like we do feel in society today. There was a value exchange of blessing. It wasn't a barter system. When someone gave you something on the street, they gave you something without expecting anything in return. When you wanted to know where food was, they told you. Not one single person, not other than homeless people, told us where anything was. Not one single person all week asked me what I needed, how I felt, did I need help, told me where the shelter was, told me where the food bank was. Not one person other than homeless people.
And I believe that the homeless people did it because they know that they didn't do it because they have had enough to do it. They did it because they know what it's like to not have. And it's like everybody out there, I don't care whether it's from a bar of soap or directions to where the next snack pack is or directions to where the shelter is or the directions that you have to do before you get to the shelter. All of those things were provided for us by the homeless.
Now, were you kind of shocked? Well, not really shocked, but like you said, did you feel any discouragement? You probably did see it when all of a sudden now the society saw you that way. They were less apt to help you.
Oh,
they were not more than less apt. We were invisible. Yeah,
Really?
I was invisible to them.
So
that's what got me. It was almost like they were suppressed in their help or assistance. Like they were being told not to.
That's what it was like. It was like somebody told them, if you do it, you in trouble.
Right. Yeah. And so the person I interview, so every morning and every night we'd do kind of confessionals with Bryan and No Cash. And early on, one of the most haunting things, I asked, I think it was No Cash. I asked if anybody had talked to them today, and he said two people had looked at them, not even talked to them. One woman waved at them. The other woman, now mind you, it's raining out. It's between 30 and 40 degrees. They're walking 6 miles in the rain. He said we came up to an intersection. A woman looked at us and started laughing in her car.
Mm-hmm. That was day one.
Day one, Jack. It was landing on feet.
And that's essentially the crux. Like, it's a joke. And this is how I can prove to you that it's a joke how society views homelessness. Quick question, pop quiz. When somebody's homeless, what's the knee-jerk reaction? What do they need to do?
Get a job.
Get a job,
Shut up and
right?
Get a job, yeah.
Well, if you have felonies on your record, who's going to hire you? If you don't have a home or you don't have a license, how are you going to get a job? If you have to walk hours every morning to get to the food bank to get your one meal a day, to walk 3 hours back to where you're existing, how are you going to get a job if you can't shower for a week?
Yeah, dude, but people like.
For mental condition, how you gonna get a job? You have an addiction. How are you gonna get?
But people don't get that shit. People don't care. They make their own miserable fuck existence more tolerable by looking down at somebody less fortunate themselves, instead of helping them, which would actually probably make them feel better by helping other people. Instead, they reflexively fucking look down on somebody that's in a worse position than they are, and it makes them feel better about the miserable fucking little life that they fucking have, living in a gold fucking cage of a fucking mortgage, paying their fucking taxes
Okay,
and shit.
we get the point. We get the point.
I can tell you probably like the hardest thing.
Step on someone else to up yourself.
Yeah, the hardest thing for me is like it was in Clearwater Beach. I was in Clearwater, Florida, so I had the beach right there. So showers taken care of, staying clean taken care of. Food was I can go to any place and dumpster dive real easy. But the hardest part was the address, getting an address, and my license was getting ready to expire, so I wasn't going to be able to drive soon. That was the hardest part, was securing that address. Those little things that no one thinks about. I feel you there, Christian, and the gang. I feel you there. Those little things that no one ever that we all take for granted, that everyone takes for granted now, but shit, they add up quick.
Well, people, since I've gotten back, they said, Bryan, I was moved by what you did. We went live a few times, and I want to help homeless people. But when I see a homeless person smoking, I'm less inspired to help them. And I said, listen, man, I was ignored for a whole week. If I would have been out there two more weeks, I would have been smoking, because I would have been thinking, it doesn't matter if I smoke or not. You didn't look at me when I wasn't smoking.
Correct.
Why do you care when I'm smoking? If I would have been out there 6 weeks, I probably would have been drinking, and so, so why don't we, meet people where they are? We see people. What do you expect someone's going to be doing if they're living on the street every day? I mean,
and dude, it's like, it's an excuse. It's a fucking petty excuse that a person's gonna like grab to instinctively and be like, he's fucking smoking. Oh, he's gonna go fucking get a beer. He's not. I'm not gonna give him money. Fuck that, dude. Like, if a guy's sitting on the side of the road, like, if I got cash, I'll give him $5 to go get a fucking beer. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's hustling for fucking change.
I told Byon, I said, and all this stuff, like, everything I'm telling you is stuff that I learned in a week. This is all fresh, new stuff. But I told him, people will look at a homeless person and say, should I give that person $5 or not? What are they going to do with it? They could, smoke, or they may buy a lottery ticket, or they may buy beer. And I said, that's like your boss at the end of the week saying, now, if I give you this check, are you going to get cheat on your wife? Are you going to look at porn on your phone? Are you going to get drunk and drive drunk? Or, I don't know if I should give you this check for your work this week, because what are you going to do with it? Employers don't do that. Why do people, giving a homeless person $5 on the street, why do they try to figure out what they're doing with their money when everyone else that gets paid, nobody's asking them what they're doing with their money? You know what I'm saying? It's a total different perspective.
And the thing is that it's much easier to look for reasons why not to give them money than it is to. I actually challenge. I personally challenge everybody that's listening. Try to do that at least like a couple times a day, or next time you drive by a homeless person. Like, try to focus on positive instead of negative, instead of like reasons not to. Think of reasons why you should. Like, maybe your kids in the back seat of your car, and that would be a good example. Or unless you think that it's socially inappropriate to give money to beggars or whatever. But it's the first one without sin throws the first stone.
Oh, that's right. And it's kind of funny, when I was in prison, I used to have dreams before I was back on the street, and it would be the same dream. I would look down like at myself in the dream, and on my neck I had a sign that says, "Will sing for food." And that was the sign that I used for my YouTube channel, same sign that I used for panhandling with me and Bryan out there. But also, when I used to have those dreams in prison, it led me on a journey to try to find out stuff about homelessness and situations like that. And I came to know that when you're dealing with homelessness, it's two kinds of people. There's intellectual types and there's feeling types. And most people, when you look at a homeless person, if you go to trying to figure out what they can do or what got them there, or they could work just like me, or they got limbs just like they're lazy, they could do, you are intellectual type. And if you see a homeless person and your heart just actually goes out for them, no matter what the situation is, you're just wondering, I wonder where they're going to sleep at tonight, or it's cold out there tonight, where do the homeless go? Then you are a feeling type. And feeling types will be more apt to help a homeless person before an intellectual type. That's all.
And that's part of, I think, what this whole week has kind of exposed. There's this. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. This is gonna sound kind of, but man, some of the stuff we saw.
Go ahead.
It's like we met with the chief of police, and we talked and we asked. We said, "Do you have any laws concerning homelessness?" He said, "No." I said, "Okay, well, people say that you do." He goes, "Well, we have." No, you can't trespass, you can't loiter, you can't panhandle, you can't, set up tents or sleep on public property. Obviously, can't do it on private property. And okay, well, and I swear, I mean, we have this on video, so I promise you what's happened. Like, have you done anything to, help, with the homeless situation? Because studies have shown it's better to treat, homelessness, to treat them like people and help them, with programs to rehabilitate than it is to prosecute them. And he said, yeah, we got together a bunch of nonprofits, and he was super excited. And so I was like, man, this is gonna be good. Like, I'm here. He said, we got a bunch of nonprofits, we got a bunch of people together. We had this huge meeting about what to do about homelessness, and then we didn't do anything.
We did nothing.
We did nothing. That literally was his pitch.
It's the same with drug addiction too, man. There's like Portugal, I think, was the country where there was like a major. It wasn't a study. They just straight up couldn't sustain the rate of drug abuse in the grown adult population that was, growing, and they didn't legalize hard drugs, but they stopped prosecuting for them. Or they stopped punishing people for them, and they invested that money into treatment instead. And it's like, you can Google if anyone's interested in it, you can Google it yourself. It's fairly easy to find info on that.
Well, what's crazy too is that they're having these interviews, and we wanted to have different experiences. One is we wanted to sleep outside. It wasn't like we just we're going to be homeless for a week and just camp out for a week. I wanted to check into a shelter, go to the food bank, sleep outside, panhandle, do different things. And one night, the cops came up on us, the sheriff. They weren't rude. They were just firm and direct, but they were like, all right, y'all got to go. I got a complaint. You got to get out of here. If you come back, then you're going to be arrested. And it was 5:45. Now, we knew by then, because we had stayed at a shelter, that the shelter opened, check-in was from 1 to 4. So it's too late to check in. We also knew that you had to get a shelter clearance from the local sheriff's office to get into a shelter. So to get into any shelter in Augusta, you got to go to the sheriff's office, have a background check, and get this clearance to be in an emergency shelter. So here it is, 5:45. The sheriff knows this. And he just says, you got to leave. He doesn't ask us if we need any help. He doesn't ask us where we're going. He doesn't tell us where the shelter is. He doesn't tell us that we need this emergency shelter clearance. He just says, I got a complaint. Get your stuff. Get out. If you come back, you're going to jail, period.
Wow.
And
what's curious is I'm asking not as if I know the answer to this. I'm just curious. It occurred to me that does one's citizenship, is it decreased if you're homeless? Are you less of a citizen?
It's removed. It's removed if you're homeless. You're citizen. Now, not everywhere. In some cities, I feel like our city in Florence is doing things a lot better than how I got treated. But so this isn't just a across the board kind of thing, but your citizenship is in a lot of cases is removed because
Or
you know,
questionable.
with everybody else, you're not a citizen because you're not participating in society. You know.
Yeah, you aren't part of the rat race anymore.
Yeah, right.
Did it?
Well,
That's interesting.
Yeah, I was about to say
it's,
that.
I mean, it's definitely like for me, like immediately, it's like a huge ethical dilemma. Like my gears are fucking spinning like crazy just from that.
And we each have 4 felonies. And one of my wife's biggest fear was, Brian, you got 4 felonies. You're not going to be Mr. Executive Director in a town where people know you.
Why not?
You're going to be a homeless guy with 4 felonies. And she was scared that I would get arrested. And so me and Byon, aka No Cash, I don't know if y'all put that together. That's his YouTube moniker is No Cash. KNOW, K for knowledge, W for wisdom. I
Good
go,
job.
But anyway, you know, so we knew not to talk back to those police officers. I mean, we knew that we would be it would be called the Sheltered with No Cash project. We'd be eating bologna sandwiches and Kool-Aid with drinking Kool-Aid with no sugar. So we didn't say a word.
Yeah, but dude, that's a common thing that I worked as a guard in Denver in a detox facility here, and a lot of bums will get shit faced, especially it's actually like more common during the colder time periods, and they'll get fucking sauced the fuck out in order to get put into the detox, and they'll just hang around in public and
get themselves put in so they can be warm.
The detox. Yep.
Yeah. Well, and so and this is where it's interesting. This is where, you know, by virtue of my job, I had the bird's eye view. So, and you asked about your citizenship as a homeless person. So let's set the stage. They're there. They got kicked out for trespassing, right? You have to go to the sheriff's office to get into the shelter. So if they're caught trespassing and they don't have any place to live, so where are you going to go? They get a fine. If they get, you know, if you panhandle, you get fined. If you do, you know, you're loitering, you get fined. Well, if you're homeless and you can't afford to pay the fine, they issue a bench warrant. So if you go to the sheriff's office to get emergency shelter, they do a background check to see if you have any bench warrants for the stuff that you're doing because you're homeless. And now instead of going to the shelter, you're going to jail. And so it's
pretty fucked up, dude.
Yeah, well, and so being homeless isn't a criminal act, but your very existence
lands you in jail.
The fact that you are breathing and alive, because you can't be in public places, you can't be in private places, you can't ask for food, you can't loiter, you can't hang out with other homeless people.
You can't panhandle.
So
you're circumstantially being funneled into criminal, categorical criminal status.
So you're basically riding a fine line, and if you cross it unknowingly or knowingly, one way or the other, you're deep in it one way.
Yeah. And we know once you get in that system, then you got court dates, and then you gotta, you sit for roll call, and if you're homeless, how are you gonna make sure that you make roll call? And then if you're not there for roll call, man, with my felonies, I did roll call for months. You'd have to be there every Monday.
Yeah.
And so if you got to be there every Monday, then you're not going to eat on Monday. I mean, and how do you get there on Monday? And what if you need to go to another state and now you're caught up in that?
And that's coming from Bryan, the executive director of homeless ministry, and someone with his right mind, his limbs and his health and strength and all of that. What I've noticed with homeless people out there is many of them have mental conditions. A lot of them are having health issues. A lot of them are just older. They just don't know how to do it. They don't have the strength, and they're just whatever, right? So you giving them all this stuff to do, it's almost like they know they're not going to do it, and they just don't have the strength to do it.
Yeah. Any one thing, me and Byon were talking about this. If you had mental illness, physical impairment, sick, elderly, weak, illiterate, any one of those would have made our situation, a woman with a child.
That's right, with the child, about to say.
Any one of those situations would have made our experience 10 times harder, exponentially harder. If we had an addiction, here I am, college educated, recovered addict, victory over my addiction, and it was one of the hardest weeks of my life. That any one of those things, and most of the people that we saw had had 2 or 3 of these situations.
That's what I'm talking
made it 10, 20, 30 times harder. I don't even know how they made it.
Not
I
even
don't
hard.
know.
I think some of them people, it was impossible.
Impossible.
Did you guys run into veterans?
I don't know if they were.
I would probably say yeah, because we didn't ask any questions, but we ran into a lot of older men that possibly could have fit the description.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
And statistically, and talking with the sheriff's office and a lot of the ministries that are out there, there is a prevalent veteran community among the homeless in Augusta, and one of the things that's personally was just completely infuriating to me is that the chief of police said, "Man, you give me a veteran, I can just plug him straight into all these programs. They're going to help him." And my first thought was, well, okay, why aren't you? And my second thought is, what are they? Because I would love to know what they are. I mean,
the sheriff that pushed us along the way didn't ask us if we were veterans.
Yeah,
he didn't ask us nothing.
They don't know it themselves. They just assume. They're like, well, we live in a responsible society where we take care of those types of people they're not like they're not just unearned burdens to society. They did something that in their service to their country they were put into that state or whatever. But there are programs, and the problem is that just like you guys were saying, there's not an active presence like going out to those dudes to fucking take care of them. They're waiting. They're fucking static shit at the VA with a bunch of fucking bureaucracy that's a rat maze that you have to fucking run through. Make appointments on time. You don't show up on time, you get fucking degraded by some fucking bachelor's degree little fuck with their psychology fucking high horse and shit. It's there are programs, I think, but they're complicated, and I've been
go ahead.
I've been like through suicide prevention stuff that we do. I personally have just found through not locally, but throughout the country, I'll end up doing research for people locally on the ground, find out what veteran resources there are. And it's not easy, man. There's a lot of layers and a lot of bureaucracy that you have to go through in order to get people taken care of in those systems as well.
Yeah, for a sheriff to say, yeah, if it was a veteran, I could plug him in. He's full of crap, because what he does is he dumps him on someone's door. The problem is what you just said. Okay, yeah, you just put someone there. Then you run into the program of you've got a bunch of people sitting behind a desk with using the same bureaucracy that we see in the military and the VA, if not, except for it's even worse. And they're sitting there judging them and making it that much harder for them to want to get help.
Yeah,
right.
That's the absolute truth.
And I don't want this point to get missed because I know we may run out of time. But what I realized,
you guys can talk as much as you want.
All right, cool. What this whole thing with Byon is the value exchange was, hey Byon, I need a different perspective of homelessness. And that was the value that he was bringing to me in the exchange. And in turn, I'm going to bring my resources to you, because the difference between me and Byon, outside of the fact that he can sing and I can't, and he's black and I'm white, was the fact that I had resources that came to my aid. I can name 10, 12 people by name: Corbett Stone, Dean Lisenby, David White, Steve Currington. These people came in and they helped me, get out of my situation. And so that's what I told Byon. I'm going to bring my resources to you. The solution to this problem isn't for us to go run to the city manager and the police chief and the sheriff and the congressman and the local councilman. The solution to homelessness is us as individuals going out to people, befriending people, getting to know people, and bringing our resources to those people. That's the solution. We've got to own it, instead of walking past and putting our head down or turning our head and not saying, hey, we're going to have to, get involved. All the other, the municipalities and the government and the bureaucracy, that's the problem for homeless people.
And I was about to say,
Yeah, dude.
I was about to say,
them to do it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Of the problem here. Let me help you. I'm going to take you to the doorsteps of the problem. You know what I mean?
So did you find? Did you have, Chris? Did you have cameras and stuff while the guy was talking? Like
yeah. So we had cameras both recording. You know, we have all these interviews with all the resources, and it's easy to focus on the negative because, man, there's some crazy stuff that happened, and we even got news today about you know, things that are continuing to happen. But we were fortunate enough. We met so many people, and Brian's absolutely right. The solution to the problem and the needs that were being met in Augusta, it wasn't the government. It wasn't, you know, the city council. It wasn't, you know, it was nonprofit organizations. Right. You know, there's one called the Masters Table. One of the first things both these guys said is, man, they didn't ask us for any ID. We just walked in, and they had food, and they had
friskus. They laid coffee and stuff out for us first. You get the coffee and everything, and then they open doors and let everybody just go on in and eat and dine together.
Yeah, they had the Augusta Rescue Mission that has that in-house program where they help rehabilitate you know, people. They had this gentleman, Roger Gardner. He's a recovering addict. He OD'd and came back to life and said, well, I think that was good, close enough. Or, you know, he had a come to Jesus moment, now runs a ministry. And this was the craziest thing. They have all these homeless people under the bridge every Saturday in Augusta. They feed, you know, on a slow day, 300 people. They said for Thanksgiving, they had over 2,500.
Jesus.
2,500 mouths that they fed. And, you know, they have a little church service and they have an offering at the end. And I watched homeless people who, you know, carrying all their possessions on their back, donating money to help other people just like them. And I got to sing this guy's praises. I wish I knew him, but there was a police officer there providing security, and I'm sitting there in the back watching. He walks by the offering, just strolling, and takes money out of his pocket, puts it into the offering, puts his hand back in his pocket, and except for me, not a damn person saw him. So there are people, and, you know, we ran into another police officer, saw a guy who's, you know, and this is above and beyond, saw a guy who was struggling, said, hey, man, what can I do for you? The guy's like, man, I'm just on hard times. My girlfriend left me. I'm trying to get out of town. Cop offered to buy him a bus ticket. He said, I have the money in my pocket. I'll take you to the bus station now to help you. And so there are, you know, people that we saw step up.
Good Samaritan.
Yeah, but it was the community helping the community.
Each one reach one.
Yeah, and that was the stuff that absolutely just it blew me away. And what is heartbreaking though, because, man, there was a tent city behind the film office that we were working with. We went there the first day, visited them, and it's funny. They said, come back Thursday. We'll love to have your cameras come back Thursday. And there was 2 women there, and there was a child there, and I was like, man, this is weird. They're being super talkative, very friendly. Why do they want us to come back Thursday? And it had been raining, so they had put their tents up on little pallets to try and keep the mud out, but that wasn't working. Came back Thursday. Lo and behold, the women and children were gone. And I asked somebody about this, and it was a lawyer who advocates for the homeless, and he says that's because if they find out that there's a woman and child on the streets, they're going to put those children in the system, and they'll never be seen again. And so they try and protect each other. They have nothing, and they give each other money. They have nothing, and they try and keep families together. They have nothing, and they had 2 strangers. Let me tell you, everybody knew that these guys were from out of town. All the homeless people, because they were like, I told them, you know, we got people on the street. They're like, is it the white guy with the beard and you with dreads? I mean, and they had nothing. And who are the people helping them, showing them where food was, showing them where shelter was? Oh man, it gets me fired up.
No,
Can I make a comparison just off the top of my head? And this is kind of fun for you too, Ice. Okay, what he's just explained, where he sat there and said the community, how they take care of each other and everything else. What other community can you compare that to?
Pineland.
Yeah,
come on.
Pineland.
Ice.
Yeah, Pineland.
You know this because you're in it.
Yeah, what?
The military. We accept each other for who we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Straight across the board.
But we also have individual cliques that like to push people out for their own personal gain. And those are the ones, you know what I mean, that keep people down, like that they're trying to come up.
So you be ready too.
Yeah, so they're trying to.
But you know what I'm saying? In other words, when someone in the military hurts,
correct,
we take care of each other.
Correct. And that's another thing too.
If someone's got a problem, we help each other.
Correct. Only up to a point, though.
I'll go with you on that.
In this situation,
Agreed.
in this situation right here, these three individuals, they're seeing it because it's kind of hard for me to go out of my way to help somebody, obviously, unless we're in a combat situation. But if we're back in garrison, the only thing that's going to be a loss for me is I'm going to be pissed off at that person. For these guys that are dealing with each other, they've lost everything. So there's no, their next, what am I going to do next, is a no shit question that they ask themselves when they're confronted with a dynamic that they can't control. That's why.
Yeah, dude. That's kind of like. Can you see somebody that's retiring being in a dynamic like that?
No way, dude. No way. Oh man, that's why I think younger veterans survive better when they're out.
Than
the older guys.
When somebody retires after 30, 20 years.
Yeah.
They're gonna be fucking.
They're running around nuts.
That's a high risk population,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah, they don't know what to do. So my biggest thing is that, and I'm glad you brought it up too, Chris. It fires me up because we just passed a big omnibus bill, and the freaking thing that I saw the most that was in there were $1,000 for this stupid art thing, or $1,000 for that endowment, or $1,500 for that, or $2,500 for that. All that money that they passed in this freaking bill that everyone was freaking out about could have gone to the communities, or like you said, the area in Augusta, that could have at least given a leg up. Because I guarantee it, the amount of money that our Congress spends on whatever crap that they're passing, I guarantee if they were send that money to each of those major cities in those shelters, I'm willing to bet it will not be able to solve the problem, but we will be able to get it moving. If that makes any sense.
And the other thing is, man, that they here I am a product. I was addicted to cocaine, opiates, methadone, basically more of whatever I could get. So here I am. Yeah. People say, people say, well, I at least want to try something once. Well, I would try it twice just to make sure I didn't do it wrong the first time. But anyway, so I got out of my addiction through a Christian addictions ministry, and now I'm working at a Christian homeless organization. Well, neither one of those ministries get any kind of funding, and here I would say I'm successful. I haven't used drugs in 11 years, and they talk about the recidivism rate, and I've seen many, many men and women come through our homeless programs, our life recovery program, and be successful. But where's the funding for that? Just because it's Christian? Nope. We'll put money on artwork, and we'll put money in museums and for statues. But, that Christian thing, there's just a stigma there that we're not going to be able to help people get sobriety, or victory over their addiction, or come out of their homeless situation because of that. And that's frustrating to me because I see the success of it.
Well, that the reason, and to go to funding, where the funds go, they're going towards more like your medical insurance run addiction places, right. Things that so they can
money to them, basically.
Yeah, but we also separate church and state, man.
There you go.
That's you give Caesar Caesar's.
You have that problem of we've got separation of church and state, and then you've got psychologists and psychiatrists who lobby and who will sit there and talk in everybody's ear behind the scenes going, we got the programs that work. Churches, they just sit there and fill them full of love, and then kick them on their way.
No, that's
love is the program that works for some things.
Yeah, exactly. Not to mention the fact, that's why they call it a faith-based system. You can't call it a faith-based system, not be faith-based. It doesn't matter what religion it is.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to interject here super quick. One of the reoccurring theme, and it's funny that you mentioned love, and we've kind of touched and danced around this whole concept. The biggest thing that all these programs, whether it was the Augusta Rescue Mission, whether it was the Under the Bridge, whether it was, the Master's Table. Yeah. The biggest thing that they said that they do more than job skills, more than job placement, more than training, more than housing, more than money, is they give people their identity back.
Yeah.
You're and I'm trying not to get too fired up, trying to keep it in the cage. But
but why?
Because I get real worked up. We're in this interview with Jacques Hawk, a cool name, cooler guy, legal advocate for the homeless, and he was out there helping, and he was helping this one woman, and it was he and his son, and he said to her, "What can we do out? Like, what else can we do? We got your food, we got your clothing, we're here." And she said something that haunted me. She said, "Please just don't forget that we're here." And he's looking at me, and this grown man, this lawyer, is tears streaming down his face, and he says, "How can you forget about somebody that nobody acknowledge exists? Like, homeless people, they're not real. Like fuck them. Like, excuse my language, but fuck them, man. Like, I'm gonna walk on the other side of the street. Like, they're not my problem. Like, they don't exist. They're not a person." And that's how they're treated. And so all these programs, the first thing they say, the hardest thing that they have to do is giving them some sense of identity, that you're not forgotten, that you have a place, that you exist. Because society's telling you you can't live, breathe, or eat, and it's illegal. And so that's my biggest takeaway. And I did this today, man. You know, I'll stop every once in a while and give them $5 or a bottle of water and tell them high five and hope you have a good day. But today I drove by, saw two people sitting on the side. They had their little sign. And I drove up, got them went to a restaurant, got them some food. And my son, I love that kid. He's a better man than I'll ever be. Tried not to choke up. He says, "Dad, can I take him the food?" And I said, "Yeah." And he brought it over. And he asked them their names. He introduced himself and said, "Hi, I'm Evan." And the woman almost started crying, and she gave him a hug, and she said, "My name's Jessica." And the other guy laughed, and he said, "My name's Robert Earp." Like Wyatt Earp, the movie. And Evan said, "Oh, I like that movie," and gave him the food, and walked away. And he had no idea what he had just done.
He gave him identity.
Yeah, he told them that for that 1 minute conversation, that they actually mattered. And you can meet the physical needs, but if you don't acknowledge that they exist, what's it worth?
Yeah.
And that doesn't just go for like our veterans, man. Like, I have good friends who 6 years ago couldn't go to a fucking grocery store. They locked themselves in the closet, and these are grown men that I am proud to call my brothers. And today, like, they walk beside me, and it's not because of some program. It's because they took the time, and they were able to surround themselves by people who believed in them and loved them and helped them heal, and they were able to rebuild who they were as a person. And I mean, there's so many people out there, veterans, homeless. They have a lot of parallels.
Yes, they do.
They've lost their sense of being. They're forgotten. You come back from a war and you serve your country, and fucking people high five you on Memorial Day, and you're like, "You're getting this wrong again. This isn't my day." And then they salute you on Veterans Day and say, "Oh, thank you for your service," and then tell you to fuck off the 363 days of the year left on the calendar.
Or you guys that I've met and dealt with addictions. A friend of mine, he's dead now. God rest his soul. Dominic Suarez. He was a sergeant in the Army, and he got kicked out of the Army, dishonorable discharge, because they were handing out candy and stuff to kids, and a kid came up and shot his buddy, in the head with a pistol, and he ran off, and Dominic dropped on a knee and just reflex and shot the kid. And then, I guess he was, I don't know, tween, 12, 14, 15. And because he hit him in the head with the stock of his rifle, he had gone up beyond what he should have done, instead of just shooting him. So he gets dishonorable discharge. Well, he goes from being a sergeant in the Army, where he's responsible for people, and he's got a rank, and he's got position, and he's got respect, to cleaning bathrooms at McDonald's.
Well, the thing is, even that dishonorable discharge aside, that happens a lot, even if they get the honorable.
Yeah.
Because some of these guys, when they're out, okay, what did they do? Unless they were in an MOS that taught them a job that transfers out, the likelihood is they're starting from ground zero, and sometimes mentally they can't bend their mind around that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you go from a position of importance and you have a role in this world. You know, he had a role in this world, and his family was all military. And and he just became an alcoholic because he couldn't deal with it. His place in this world was gone. Everything that he had grown up and wanted to be, you know, watching his dad, and then to have lost that, but see his brother still in the military and you know, in his career, everything was over for Dominic because he just couldn't find his place in this world again. And you know, I tried to convince him that he was in the Lord's army and that he had a role and that he could lead men again, you know, but he just he couldn't get over the images, you know, and the situations in his mind to grab a hold of that, and he's no longer with us because of it.
And unfortunately, what you're talking about, it happens a lot, and it's not even if they don't commit suicide.
Yeah.
They're still walking wounded. They're still pretty much gone because it's hard to go from one life to another without. And yeah, you're right, Cause. Find a mission. That is the problem because we've been taught mission.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we were taught from kids. We get in when we're 18 years old. That's the biggest problem we run into. And fortunately, yeah, I know you are talking about all homeless.
Yeah.
But we, with the fact that we see the veteran side of it, and it hurts our hearts.
Yeah.
It's not that we don't care about the other homeless. It's just
it's personal.
It's very personal.
So, I mean, you went you went through that episode, and now you're finishing up. Have you? And this is going to be the Unsheltered Experience. Is going to be a documentary, a movie. What's it going to be?
Movement.
Yeah.
Movement.
Yeah. Movement.
A documentary and a movement.
Yeah. And so now both Bryan and No Cash were doing Facebook Live and YouTube.
By the way, my YouTube channel is No Cash 843. That's NOCASH 843.
You can see a lot of videos of it.
It's okay. We've already posted it. We've already posted it. We've already posted that in the chat, man. We got you covered. We already posted that in the chat.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, and so we've been posting videos, and we actually have the next teaser that we watched earlier today that we're going to post. And so as we're working on the documentary and getting it finished, we're going to be uploading footage. You know, they have footage that they've already posted from their week firsthand to kind of give people a taste of what's to come. So follow on there. We're hoping the documentary should be finished in the next 3 to 6 months. I mean, we literally have, 7 days worth of footage shooting on, the better part of 12 hours a day. So we got a lot of stuff.
And I don't have a physical home, but y'all can visit me at my new web home at www.iknowcash.com. That's iknowcash.com.
Yeah. And so, moving forward, our big apple pie in the sky dream for the project, and then I definitely want these guys to kind of give you their 4 takeaways. Is we're hoping that we can use this to kind of use it as a launching point to do this as a series, so that we can go to other cities and we can start finding new questions to ask and
solutions
to the problem.
No,
can I make a suggestion?
Well, real quick,
Absolutely.
real quick, Al, real quick. So did you? Al.
The suggestion I have is real simple. You say that you want to make the project go to where you go to every city, and you have question. Well, there's always these reality series that are out there like Naked and Afraid and everything else. Well, what's stopping you from saying, okay, let's have an applicant list, and let's say, okay, we're not gonna give you a big warning. We're just gonna come in and say, time to go homeless, and drop them into a city they don't belong in, or even worse, the one they belong in.
Ow.
Yeah.
That let them let them roll their stuff. It's like how it's like how we it's like how we have people telling us, you know what would be good for radio.
Oh no, I'm just saying. That's my. I mean, you've got a great idea.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
it's good.
It's
good. What I'm saying though is that my biggest thing is that that was my question that I was going to ask you. How did you? Do you feel because you realize that there's going to be some states that don't want to have, and Chris, you've been deployed. There's some places that don't like when you make them look bad. So, so there's going to be some municipalities and some counties and some cities and some states. They're going to be like, have you you know what I'm saying? Have you felt that yet? Have you felt like people are going to be apprehensive?
Right from the get-go. I mean,
really?
I would say that it was divine how we ended up in the city that we ended up in, because I had no preconceived notions about what we would experience. But 3 days in, me and Byon are having discussions that, man, this is just weird. I mean, it feels like people act like they're going to get in trouble for helping us. I mean, nobody, not one single person asks you if you need any help when you're obviously homeless. And then to be hearing, what these guys on the other side of the documentary talking to all the city officials and whatnot are hearing, and then to find out that that's the case. And, it would be, what I think would be neat would be to do what you're saying and go to different cities. And then at the end of the week say, is this a city that you could be homeless in, and that you could get back on your feet again? Are the resources here to assist you and to help you, regain your identity and your place in society? And
better yet,
that
to
be
give
the
them some insight on some solutions that they probably need, like you.
Right.
For instance.
Yeah, not
you
on
thought
that.
you had it all figured out.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Well, I knew that I didn't, to be honest. That's why I did this, because I knew I didn't have it all figured out. Because I wondered, why does it take 3 nights at 16 degrees before someone would finally come into the shelter? So I knew that there was a disconnect, because it just didn't make sense to me why there was such a holdback from coming to get help. And so that's what I wanted to learn. But for them to see if they do have a heart for the homeless, for us to go in like undercover boss and show them what they need to do and what they need.
There you go.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's what I think you were trying to get at, right, Al?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay. All right.
I wasn't trying to tell you your thing. It's
Yeah,
just
okay.
I sit there going,
okay.
I'm
tracking.
I'm up in Washington State, and I know how bad they treat the homeless up here, and not just on my side. Over on the west side, where you've got the bigger cities, it's even worse. I mean, they actually talk about over here how the west side is trying to get them out of the city. I mean, literally, they're running around with the police, with the fire trucks, breaking down the tent cities and trying to kick them out.
Funny you say that.
The Masters is in Augusta in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So fun things we found out. Quite literally, they have maps of where the homeless are. They have maps, like the city, and one of the tent cities that we visited, we donated clothes to them. We brought them food all week. Super hospitable. They were cool guys. Told us their stories. The day we left, now the Masters is coming to Augusta first week of April, and they say, oh, we don't do anything to clean up the city as far as that goes. But every single homeless organization we talked to said, yeah, it's like clockwork. There's a drop in how many people come to us for help. The city that we visited, we donated goods to. We broke bread with them. We ate with them. And one of those guys, he was a vet. He served in Hawaii with I think it was the 25th. They were all 3 of them were arrested, and the rest were displaced today. So we left on Sunday. We visited them, said, hey, thank you guys for everything. Left them the what we had left. The sheriff's office raided their tent city today, arrested them, and then told the rest they needed to get out of Dodge. So, yeah.
Did anybody from the sheriff's department give you any like, hey, this is, I mean, we're talking like from the grunts and from the watch commanders, not from, did anybody give you any insight like, hey, man, this sucks, I think we need to do something? Did any of them on air, on camera, on record say like that?
No, it was all the we saw, and I talked about that. We saw acts of kindness by individual officers and them stepping up and trying to do what they could where they were at. But really, definitely nothing from the official side outside of it's a problem, and we want to make sure that the rights of our citizens are protected. And when we brought up the rights of the homeless who are also citizens, it was like, well, it is what it is, kind of thing. But I don't want to keep these guys too long because Bryan has, like I said, a family at home waiting for him. But I would real quick. They had 4 takeaways, which I absolutely loved. And then on the flip side, we talked about this last year. I got the same great crew from last year, so I got my 2 Ranger buddies back. Watch my 6 and making sure I'm not doing anything stupid. They got to meet one of them, Mike, who was our cameraman. And man, he's fired up.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna let these guys give you their 4 takeaways, kind of their final thoughts, and I'm gonna let them get back to their families. And
Bryan, take them away, man.
Yeah, I'll do it. So first takeaway was, and I'll have to explain this briefly. Take the soap. So one of the things that kind of outed me as not being homeless is a homeless guy came up to us. He had 3 bars of soap and a can of chicken. And he said, "Hey, y'all need a bar of soap." And Byon took the soap because he understood the homeless community. I didn't, and the guy immediately knew that something was amiss with me. That I must not be homeless or anything. Because anytime someone goes to offer you something in the homeless community, you take it. Because even if you don't need it now, you don't know when you'll have another chance to get it, or you can give it to someone who you come across that needs it. So if anyone, and it begins this exchange of blessings where by you giving something, it opens up you to receive something. It's not a barter system where I give you soap for a cigarette or soap for a lighter or soap for anything. They just pass things that they don't need that you could use in expectation that someone is going to help them along the way. So
the blessings are reciprocated.
Yeah, the blessings are reciprocated. The second thing is ask people what they need. Don't be scared to ask a homeless person what they need. The worst thing that you can do is say, you know what, I can't help you with that. A lot of people are scared that a homeless person is going to ask you for $2. My 5-year-old asked me for $2, and I'm not shaking in my shoes because of that. But ask a homeless person what they need. It could be directions. It could be a rain jacket. It could be a couple bucks. It could be, a hug. But ask them what they need. Third was meet people where they are. Don't try to take them and put them into your program or put them into what you would have them do. Meet them where they are, and with no judgment or expectation. And lastly, get in the game. As Christians, we'll spend Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, in church, learning how to be like Jesus. Practicing, how to be like Jesus. And then Denver Moore, a homeless guy in a book called Same Kind of Different as Me, said, you'll go in and you'll worship a homeless man on Sunday and ignore the first one you see when you walk out of the church. Jesus didn't have a home.
Yeah.
And so get into the game. That's the 4th takeaway is don't just practice, get into the game. Leave your comfort zone as a Christian or as a person of a different faith, whatever your faith is, or if you don't have faith, doesn't matter. Or just a regular citizen, just interact. It's going to take us helping homeless people. It's not someone else's problem. It's our problem. It's humanity's problem. So humanity has got to get in the game and engage these people. And so, check us out, man. Go to Byon's YouTube page, see the go lives, see what we're about, see the genuineness of it. And it's good to know that we got 2 investors for our new docuseries reality show. Thank you, guys. I'm excited. Chris, you get their money and they can be part of this, taking this to different cities. And,
these guys are smooth, aren't they?
Yeah, so we appreciate that. But
it was my pleasure meeting you guys.
Yes. Looking forward to partnering with you and spreading this movement. Thank you.
Definitely, I appreciate you guys coming on, man. Totally appreciate you guys coming on.
Great.
Oh man. So what you got, Byon?
Hey man, he just wrapped that thing all up in a burrito for y'all, man.
Oh, okay. Well, I was about to say, I was waiting for I was waiting for some Beyond's no cash words of wisdom. I was going to see what no cash was going to say.
Give him some K and W, man. Give him some K and W.
Oh man, pertaining to what? I mean, let me tell you something, man. It just comes as needed. You know, it's like knowledge and wisdom. People tend to only use it when there's problems.
Tell them, I tell you what, this Beyond, wrap them up by telling them how I wanted to help you by thinking that the most important thing was to come home and get you in a house and get you a car and putting the car in front of the horse.
Yes, man. Listen.
Putting
Okay,
a
I'm gonna get
burden
real
on
with
you.
y'all. Okay, he did the last day when we was there. He kind of pricked him, and he was like, okay. He was very genuine. I knew this about him before we even went out there. But after spending a week together, as you know, close as we were, spooning and all this stuff, he began to catch feelings for me. So. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm just playing. But anyway, pause, no homo. But anyway, the last day we went on live, and it got a little bit heartfelt for everybody, even the camera crew, even though Chris over here just teared up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you did. He's teared up too. But anyway, no, he's a 10 man. But we was on live, and he went to his people, his resources, like everybody was watching. And he actually said, you know, y'all, it's winding down, and I'm going to be going home to my wife and my kids and a warm bed, and no cash is going to be homeless. And I want to.
Ooh.
And
there you go.
First he asked me how could they help, and he told them if they wanted to help me, they could take the easy way out by giving me a few dollars, $20 to $50, $25 to $50, and if they wanted to do that, they could reach him at his email or all these places. And then he asked me after we got off alive, "Where's your GoFundMe?" I was like, "It's there." He was like, "How much did you raise on it?" I was like, "Man, I had it for about 7 months. I only raised $100." So he was like, "Give it to me." So I don't know what he did with it, to be honest with you, but he did something with it. He posted, and we woke up the next morning, and it was like $2,000 on that bad boy the next morning. So we like, whoa, me and him. And so now we're walking, and he's beginning to tell me, like, we got this money, man, and when we get back home, you know, what I want to do is we're going to try to see what we can get you to home. We're going to see what and I began to think, like, whoa, it's almost like when you begin to help these homeless, you know, y'all say most homeless people, they begin to accept their homelessness, right?
Yeah.
And it's because of all of the hoorah, the bills, the this, the that, and they can't handle all of that, right? If they could, they would already have these things. So he began to immediately start talking to me about how we was going to disperse the $2,000. And for one, I just wanted him to press his brakes to say, okay, first of all, when I started to GoFundMe, you got to leave up a little description on what you're going to do with the money. And I never included anything in there about a house. Yeah. I never included anything in there about a car. You know what I'm saying? So I was just telling him to press his brakes on that perspective.
Yeah.
He was genuine about trying to help me. But then also I didn't want to get into a situation where as though I'm biting off more than I can chew. And then I didn't want to get him in a situation to where as though he having to help me uphold a lot of these things. And also the people that he told to donate, I didn't want him to be having them all over his head, like, where did the money go? Where's the home and all of this? So I made him understand that, okay, when you're helping someone in a homeless situation, first of all, it has to be genuine. And it's almost like when you give them that $5, Joe's supposed to be worried about whether they're going to buy a pack of cigarettes or a bottle of wine or whatever they're going to buy with it. You give it genuinely and wholeheartedly. So just the next day of $2,000 being donated to my GoFundMe, we was about to have a little situation as to what was going to be done with the money. And we quickly began to realize, like, wow, we're doing it again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we basically pressed our brakes and understood that we got to take this thing day by day, one day at a time. You know what I'm saying? Step by step. And the home and the car may not be the first thing that we need to get. I was trying to get him to understand that putting the horse before the carriage is how we move forward. If you put the carriage before the horse, we're going backwards. So if you put me in a situation to get car, home, which is going to need light bill paid, water bill, all this, I don't even have the job first. We're going backwards. So what I'm saying, I had to get us to understand that, okay, let's press our brakes, take our time, let nature take its course, time go by, more resources open up, and then we'll be able to see a clear vision of what we need to do. So that was just one way I was trying to use wisdom on him, because I knew he was ready to go. Step on the gas, and you know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna do it all in one night. But Jesus built the world God built the world in 6 days, and he rested on the seventh. He didn't do it in one day. So I kind of get him to understand that, and that was a bit of work with him, man. I'm telling you, now he was ready to hit that ground running. But
yeah, you know, you just think, hey, food, shelter, clothing. That's what we do at the House of Hope.
That's
and
awesome.
What touched me about Byon, when I finally got it, he said, you know, Bryan, I'm not going to let you down. And if you give me this house, you know, I'm going to take the soap, you know, because I know you're sincere, but I'm not going to let you down. And I said, well, I'm not worried about you letting me down, man. He goes, well, I am. And the way I'm not going to let you down, if in 2 to 3 months I can't afford, you know, this house or whatnot, I'm going to go out and do something stupid because I don't want to let you down. And I realized that I could put him in a compromising position by giving him more than he could handle. And his love and loyalty to me was that he would, you know, he would turn some drugs or whatever, you know, just to make sure that he didn't let me down and the people that I'd brought in his life down. And man, you know, how many times have we seen that where we
exactly.
And I should have known that. And so that was the greatest knowledge and wisdom, you know, because all the 4 things were in it, you know. Meet people where they are, you know, and ask them what they need. And I got ahead of that. I got ahead of myself trying to get rid of my guilt. You know, I didn't want to go home and be in my bed and him be in his same situation. That was more about me than about him. He didn't say anything to me about that, you know?
Yeah.
And it was all on me.
And I know it was from a genuine space, but the moral of the story is just we needed to just take our time and do it day by day and let nature take its course. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly. Take care of each other, man, because I'm telling you, you know, we should be first before we start taking care of outsiders. I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound mean, but I don't want to sound like I'm an exclusionist. But you know, instead of giving money to countries that hate us, that don't like us, then that's fine. We will take our money and let's invest it in the homeless. You know what I mean?
I understand that, brother.
That's right.
Amen. Absolutely.
There's so many better ways we could be applying our money and setting up programs so when you are homeless, you can get back to where you feel comfortable and you can build up to where you can be where you want to be and be happy with it and be able to capable of actually carrying it.
Exactly.
That's what's up.
That was it. I was putting a load on him that he wasn't ready to carry yet.
And guess what? He's been doing it ever since we started in the week. And guess what? I allow him to do it. It's almost like I let him put me in harm's way and I just take the punches, you know, because I care about him and I know that he's very genuine in trying to assist me. But I have one question for you all before we get up out of here.
Hey, what's up?
What's the best way for me to get this broadcasting so that I can feature it on my YouTube channel to cross promote with you all and let my people hear this wonderful interview that we had?
Right.
Because
it'll be posted as soon as I'm done with this. As soon as we're all done with the show, it'll be on Facebook at WTFNationRadio.com. It'll also be on Twitter if you have Twitter. My
Twitter is IAM_KNOW_CASH. That's I am no cash.
Well, this right now, as we're speaking right now, it's being broadcasted on Facebook Live, Mixer.com. So if there our fans are watching or listening to their Xbox One right now, listening to y'all in their homes, and they're also it's on YouTube right now.
How y'all doing?
It's on
it's the homie No Cash, the one and only. If there's another, he's a phony.
And it's also being played on YouTube. So if you go to WTFNationRadio.com, you go to the YouTube page for WTF Nation Radio, it's on there too. So there's plenty.
Okay, so y'all already have something that I can pull from YouTube and just put it on my channel.
You could pull that. You could subscribe to us and everything. Yep, just the same thing.
I like that. I'm going to subscribe back because I know how to reciprocate that energy. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh, trust me. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're gonna as soon as that's if anything else. There are other individuals that are listening because we are also being broadcasted on a page that has 1 million followers. So, so you're also going to be heard.
All of me, love all of you. to give them a little taste of that, they might want to subscribe.
But you're also gonna get this podcast on WTFNationRadio.com. So you just go on there. You're gonna see the Sergeant's Time show. Go to the podcast. You can download the podcast on iTunes now because we're on iTunes now.
Well, I hope Chris was writing all that down because I'm
Yeah,
not
I did.
computer literate.
He knows. Chris,
100% assistance on
don't
this.
let
Yeah, I got him covered.
Don't let Chris fool you. He knows all that stuff. He's just playing.
I know that's right. Well, I'm glad that I met y'all, man. It's my pleasure.
You too,
The pleasure
man.
was y'all's.
You too.
And
Oh man. All right.
Don't let the burden get too much for you, brother.
Yeah, we got your back. We're here. We let you come on. Anytime Chris comes on, you guys are more than welcome. That's what we're talking about. We already got fans in the Facebook live chat, the Mixer chat, saying keep singing.
oh, there we go.
So you already got it in there.
What would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in and you kicking me out.
Whoa, whoa.
Got my head spinning. No kidding, I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? I'm on your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what hit me, but I'll be all right. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind, 'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges and all your perfect imperfection. Give your all to me. I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. 'Cause even when I lose, I'm winning. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Yeah.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking
Good job.
about. Yeah.
The one and only. If there's another, he's the father. I already know. That YouTube channel is No Cash 843, by the way. Don't y'all forget. Hit that subscribe button because I truly need it. That's it.
All right, man.
You guys said the magic word.
No, man. Well, hey, I'm going to take a quick break, but you guys, you stay on because I'm gonna put the music on and all that. So, hey, WTF Nation Radio, we're going to take a quick break because we're definitely going over to the third segment. So, everyone just hang out here, and then we'll be able to come back after the break. So, see you in a sec.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation.
You say I walk on the truth, but I'm not.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back for the last 15 minutes of Sergeant's time. I was just looking at the clock saying, well, we got some time. And it would appear that we only have 15 minutes. Wow. That was an awesome segment. Hello. Is anybody else talking or?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had on mute.
About to say, dude. Oh, we need to put your shit in Braille or something like that. So that way we That's actually pretty good, man. Hey, look, yeah, you know, we at WTF Nation Radio, we don't push either side, religious or non-religious. Okay, we're looking at things that can help veterans out, and also veterans that are out helping. And you guys know already, Chris Brunetti is one of our frequent guests that comes on. He is a veteran, 82nd Airborne Special Operations kid, and has done all of his work helping veterans out and all that for raising awareness for domestic violence issues, you name it. I mean, the kid, he's done it. He's a military. Oh, I mean, you know, I forgot to ask him about House of Cards. I forgot to ask him about what new movie projects is going on. But I guess this right here kind of this is a good thing to, I guess you could say, could overshadow all those other questions that I had, because there's a lot of good info. My whole point being is that it's a matter that a veteran is helping people out, whether you call it faith-based or not, you whatever you want to be, whether religion is you're not or whatever. Not, it doesn't take religion to help somebody, like they were saying.
No,
you could be Christian or not.
That's the part that I was enjoying, was they made sure that even though they were mentioning faith, they were also mentioning human. It's a human thing.
Exactly. So that's why, you know, again, we don't push that on WTF Nation Radio. We don't sway to either side, because then it just gets into arguments, and it doesn't assist us in entertaining and providing information to the veteran community, active duty and retired. But wow, damn, I have to do house cleaning already. Holy shit! Didn't expect this to be so such an informative and detailed out. I mean, God, you talk too much, Al. You just like, I'm just kidding.
I was enjoying the ride like you were.
Oh man, it was fun. It's awesome, man. I honestly think that this is probably one of the better informative segments we've had.
Well, and it was about a subject that, I mean, like they said, everybody turns their head.
Yeah.
Did anybody really want to hear this? No, but when they hear it, they have to acknowledge it. And it was truly moving, and it truly had a very, it truly had touch. What they were talking about, they're living it, they're talking it, they are really in it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the results of some of the stuff. I can't wait to see some of the work. It got me pretty. It touched me, man, to hear the stories of what they've gone through, and then Chris telling what was going on with his kid. I mean, and again, WTF Nation Radio, we don't, like I said before, if you've committed a crime, and you've served, and you've been incarcerated, and you've been put in prison, and you've come out, you've served your time. In my eyes, you've served your time. There is nothing wrong, nor should it be looked upon on any man that wants to better himself after he's been incarcerated. That's the whole reason why the whole system is to do that to begin with, is to get you to a clean slate. Because the way I see it, you've done your time. You should not have to. You don't carry that punishment forever. And society seems to fucking let that fucking hang over guys, and
hold a grudge.
And hold a grudge. And they don't even know. I'm like Chris was saying that. They say they'll hire convicted felons, or they say they'll hire veterans, but there's no proof in the pudding. Where is it at? You know what I mean? Where do you see it? So.
Exactly, and that's the downside and the sad part about the truth about our humanity and our human race, or the rat race, is we're a bunch of rats sometimes.
Yeah, very. very we have the politics of insects sometimes. So anyways, so today that was Chris Brunetti, Byon No Cash McCullough, and Bryan Braddock. He is the the executive. God, I'm all flustered right now. The executive director.
Take a breath.
The executive director for House of Hope, Bryan Braddock, and the Unsheltered Experience is going to be. They're going to be releasing that in webisodes and podcasts, and to a documentary and a movement, not a movie, to discuss their experiences while they lived homeless, and give you some insight. And I'm curious to see how the government, like the system, the society, because when you think society is just like it's just like a form of what? When you think about it, it's not tangible when you think about it, right?
No.
It's not tangible. So it's the society and how it looks down on the homeless problem in America. God, it is frustrating me how, like I said, I saw that 2100 omnibus thing, and here's a couple of excerpts. $2,050, $2,100 for an endowment for some butt art, and you're thinking,
isn't it crazy?
Yeah,
isn't
dude.
it crazy?
I want an endowment.
All the money that they give to the arts, to everything that they, and they say that that's what shows our civilization is our culture.
Exactly.
No, you want to know what shows our civilization? Go out and see how we treat the people who need our help.
Oh, and gals, yeah. What was that question for, Casey? You saying that what? I missed. When I say guys, it's plurals. It's like, hey guys, come here. I'm not talking about a bunch of guys. That means it's plural. You're included, gender non-specific. So if you want to, unless did I say so?
Military guys.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, I don't. Hey guys, come here. Gather around me, guys. And I don't sit there and forget the gals. No. Anyways, let's not get down that rat race. So, anyways, so on.
She just wants to know how many wives you got.
Everybody know what everyone. She's like, what was it? I guess she had a friend. She had a friend question that nobody believes that it's I don't have 8 ex-wives or something like that. Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Everybody knows it's bullshit. It's 10. So, anyways, come to Madison. Where's that? Is that where's Madison?
Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin. I have family that drives through there, but I don't have any Wisconsin. I got family everywhere. I have extended family that are from Ohio, but I don't know exactly where they're at. So
Wisconsin is the cheese place.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, but isn't it near Ohio? Isn't it like next to Ohio?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Anyways, sorry about that. I don't know where Madison is at. The only Madison I know is Madison Avenue in the big city. Mad Men. You know what I mean? So. So, anyways, there's not a guest tomorrow for Friday Night Freedom. However, there's going to be a guest on Saturday Night Savagery. He gets this all. He gets a good guest, too. Arthur J.P. Willey is an active duty Sergeant First Class in the U.S. Army and will be on to talk about the debut of his book, Blood in the Woods. So,
he was born and raised in the great southern state of Louisiana.
He was from the South, like Jay Reddy says.
And he moved to Baton Rouge when he was 14 years old and graduated Tara High School. He currently lives with his wife, Corey, and 5 beautiful children in Louisiana. Has served 2 combat tours in Afghanistan and the U.S. Army, and enjoys writing horror, psychology thrillers, supernatural fiction, and dark fiction. His favorite author, of course, since he was 12, was Stephen King.
Oh, man.
I'm learning.
Okay, you're good. Okay, so then what's happening on Monday then?
Okay, Monday. Hey, we have Callan Lambert from Artillery Round Tumblers. Artillery Round Tumblers is a veterans-owned and operated small business. They make custom and handmade cups and tumblers, resemble the likeness of military munitions, generally that of artillery rounds.
That's right. And usually when he comes on and shoots the shit with us to give us an update what's going on, I think we usually have giveaways, so stay tuned. That'll be awesome. And
that would be cool.
Yeah, that's it. So that's it for the guests. I know front desks, everybody else is working stuff. We got spring break happening in some areas, so everyone's doing their little spring break thing. So normally we like to make sure that we're not we're not scheduling stuff around everyone's holidays or something like that, depending on who you are. But you never know what's going to happen. What do you do for spring break? You do anything for spring break?
Me? Oh no, shoot. I'm just happy to be breathing.
I hear you, man. Let's see. There was something else that I was going to talk about. Oh yeah. Hey, real quick. Real quick. We would normally go through the inbox, the main page post. So, what do you think about that guy? That both of you. What did you think about that guy? That old civilian just said, "Fuck it. I'm going to go walk up to a grenade that didn't explode and pick it up, and then put the pin back, and then give it to Joe to throw it." What do you think of that?
I about lost my shit just watching it. Oh my god. I was like watching it like it was happening in my bedroom because I was laying in bed when I was watching it. Like, like my anxiety, like.
Oh man.
There's no words for this. Come on.
So
I mean,
so the whole drama was that should we or should we not have posted it? And
oh no. Totally.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
yeah, of course, because the way I see it, if you're going to post something, if you're going to send us something that could be, there was even a disclaimer put out. We at US Army WTF Moments not condone what you're about to see. Y'all motherfuckers are crazy, is what it said. That's what the disclaimer said in the beginning. So it's not like we were praising the guy to do it. We were just saying this is fucked up. It's shit like this that usually is reckless, that when it's not being captured and something were to have happened, then what would have happened? You know what I mean? Then it'd have been, everybody would have been like, whoa, what's going on here? Why didn't anybody do anything? Why didn't anybody stop it? So if anything else, that civilian placed himself and those Joes in danger by doing that shit.
That's the part that got me. It's not him so much, because he's probably like, yeah, fuck it, I don't want to wait like for fucking, all these guys to come and do this the right way. That's exactly what was probably going through his fucking mind. And I know this. That's probably what was going through his mind.
But the military guys are sitting there going, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. No, I did. I was like, holy shit. The guy, not only did the guy walk up to the frag, pick it up, and then try to put the pin in, but he sat there and walked up to a soldier with the frag in his hand. And then when he did that, that's when he's handed it to the Joe to fuck, all right, let's go do it. What if he put it back?
And I guess that part wasn't clear to me. Was this like, a unit, or is this a training unit?
U.S. Army WTF Moments does not disclose any type of other information unless it's specifically posted in a post.
Because that wasn't clear to me, because like if this was normally, I'm like, you can get that motherfucking thing away from me, you go throw it your fucking self.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody wants to say, nobody wants to do the right thing. I'd have told that civilian, get your fucking ass back over here. You don't need to be fucking going out there. Stay here. And that.
I mean, I've been at RSO millions of times. Yeah. There is no way.
There is no that he brings back a frag, and yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
No way. I almost had a range shut down just because I didn't have a goddamn Combat Lifesaver certificate on me when I was in a medical unit. I'm like, I have doctors.
So you're in a medical unit. You're in a medical unit, and you had to have a Combat Lifesaver certificate to run a range with medical people at the range. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because I was the RSO and I didn't have my certificate with me. And I'm like, trust me when I say, like, me and my little 40 hours of training, I'm not going to be the one out there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to be saying, okay, is there a real doctor here?
Yeah.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, you have to follow like certain rules to run any type of range. And this motherfucker's just strolling on out there.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, had he just gone out there and blown up, or he had gone out there and kicked the frag somewhere else, you know what I mean? And then told EOD, yeah, we can still train. Wait, whatever. You know what I mean? But to pick it up and walk back fiddling with it, and you saw he almost fell down while he was fiddling with it. Walking back fiddling it, and there's a Joe walking up, and then the Joe realized, holy shit, that's the fucking frag? And you're like, whoa, he walks back.
And the fact that the whoever filmed it is smart enough to like, hey, I should be filming this because something could get fucked
Oh no
up.
no! You heard the commentary. The guy's like, man, this guy's going through a divorce, or he was there. The commentary was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
it was fucking. But they were behind the blast shield, so they're also there's a difference between fucking being brave and stupid. You got a guy running around with a fucking grenade, and he's walking around. You're gonna stay behind the fucking barrier. I mean, let alone the guy was fucking. So that's what tripped me out. Any
NCO with any common sense would be they'd be the first one to go, you know what? That's not worth it.
Exactly. So, anywho, well, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Chris and Byon and Bryan for coming on. We totally appreciate it. And let's see what else we got. What else we got going on? That's it. That's all we got. So, thanks for attending Sergeant's Time. Y'all dismissed. And fall out. See ya. Shots.
Sweet dreams. Shots.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Take this photograph, tell me what it is you see when you look at me. Deep into the photography, I don't really need your sympathy, just tell me your thoughts. Have I got what they got, and is it a plot done for naught? Am I not like you because I do what I do? Who knew that I could lose a few of you cause I bleed blue? But it's true, I know cause I see it every day as I work and I sleep the day away. Like you I have pain and like you I have fear. Can I pay all of the bills and still make it through the year? While I make it home alive, should I pray to the sky every day and every night? Will I hold you by my side? But in the public eye, I don't even have a heart. A robot of the system moving only when I'm told to start. Rip apart my art, I'm strong like a flower blooming. You got it all wrong, I know I'm breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Call me a vet like a soldier. Green beret, 21 gun salute, don't wanna see the day. In a constant war zone, in the home of the brave, where they hate the police until they saving the day. I got kids like you, a mortgage like you, so blue lives matter, and so does yours too. All this separation and divide, open your eyes. If you cut us all open, we the same inside. The only difference is I run to the gunfight. Get peace when it's chaos, when the people don't act right. Put them under scrutiny for trying to protect me. You pull a pistol and I'm shooting for trying to contest me. I got a quick second to make a deadly decision. The media betrayed me like a kid for a living, like I'm cold with no heart, a brain with no thoughts, a body with no feeling, a life with no cause.
Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's like every single time I say what's on my mind, they go for my throat. They spew evil words. If you are absurd, always grinding, grinning, and killing my soul with these verbs. Hold me down like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box like I'm inside Fort Knox. Every time that I'm there, I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm a like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.